I'm streaming now. I'm streaming uh, to YouTube, Luthmann News, and to Substack. So yeah, so I'm gonna have some fun tonight, I guess. You wanted me to talk a little bit about Jeremy GERM Hales and how he's facing a very, very hard time, right? He's going to be in
Yeah.
a lot of deep poo-poo. And usually when you have records like dealing with kids, like adoption, that stuff is like our sealed records. And there has to usually be, for ethical reasons that we'll start with. Clearly, journalistic ethics would be there would have to be like a newsworthy purpose to release those records.
Right.
And clearly there isn't one at this point.
No, obviously not.
All they're doing is they're trying to harass the family, harass this little girl, try to embarrass the little girl. And there's no fraud. Like the stuff was released, and when we saw it released, there's no fraud. It basically poo-pooed Jeremy's entire story.
Right.
And me and Mike Volpe talked about this the other day. We had a little video. And at the end of it, we talked about it, how, we released Jeremy Hales's Ohio divorce records.
Right.
Number one, that doesn't involve little kids. Number two, they're not sealed documents. And number three, he's a public figure, right?
Yes.
Haley Grace is not a public figure. She's a child and she's protected by the law. So they're running themselves into a whole lot of hurt. They're going to be in deep, big trouble. I'm going to pour myself my beverage. I'll pour it for everybody. So that's a nice Guinness.
So what could people like what could people like this Melissa E. Plaz, whatever her name is, Lemmerman, what could happen to people like that who are posting these things about Harley? Because he's thanking them on his shows and stuff for doing it and sending them information. And yet they're sending illegal information out and false information.
Yeah, and that's the problem. There could be private claims, in the sense that private public dissemination of private facts, those types of torts. Well, these people, especially because you have a child that's the victim, they could actually be in serious trouble monetarily, for that type of situation. So, we know who some of the people are. They could actually get sued.
Yeah,
pretty hardcore. And the question is, if one of Germ's minions gets sued for doing something on behalf of Germ, and they realize it's going to cost them a lot of money and they might be a big loser, is Germ going to step up and take care of them, or are they going to flip on Germ? Because imagine one of these people has to turn around and they're looking at $50,000, $100,000 worth of damages.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they're looking at paying a lawyer. They want a lawyer wants $10,000 or $15,000 to start.
Right.
That becomes a problem for them. And Germ's going to run away as fast as he can. Germ. He's going to. I didn't tell anybody to do that. So he'll be like that. So.
Well, that's where Robbie comes in and states how Jeremy told him that all he has to do is say something, and they just do it. That's how dumb they are.
Yeah, and he'll maintain his plausible deniability. So I tell them to do it.
Exactly, and yet he was thanking them for their information and their postings and what they're doing. They're thanking Melissa, thanking Allison, Mark, JK. Who else was it? I watched so you don't have to. He actually stated, okay, this person I watch so you don't have to posts all kinds of summaries about me after my live shows. And that's where he gets his information from. And that's where he says that it's her show and her summaries that he's bringing into court. And this is why he's lying, because this woman is twisted. She totally like gives these summaries that are not true. And anybody that's here would know that they're not true. She's sometimes funny and sarcastic, but other than that, what she's saying is false, and he's literally saying how that's what he's bringing into court. And
everybody's up to date on what's going on, right? About what Germ has done with Haley and with the CPS and everything else, right?
Harley, pretty much.
Harley, yeah. But they're up. I have 3 little short clips that I can play from the other day with me and Volpe. They're all PG.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about. Let me pull them up for you. There are 3 of them, and so this is me and Volpe from the other day. So, and you were watching this, Lisa. You were in the audience.
Yeah, I was there.
Let me look this up.
I came in late. All right.
Yeah.
Almost nothing worse in society than a bogus CPS call. I think they've had 45. And for Megan Fox to go along with this, given the reporting that she did, knowing what a bogus CPS call can do, knowing just how horrible it is to have a child in the system, is unforgivable. She's just the lowest of the lowest. They all are, to encourage false and bogus CPS calls. I had one that I fortunately was able to deal with.
So that's Volpe.
She did. She
and
incited
Volpe,
that. I actually sent the clip over to CPS of Megan inciting it. I sent it to
and Volpe
CPS
makes a big point. He makes a very important point. You know, he's been covering this stuff for decades. You know, CPS and child services and how terrible that system is, family court. And you don't wish family court on your worst enemy. You know, that's just, and these people are, he said he had to deal with one family court bogus call in his life. And it was hell. And it was only because he knew what he was doing that it didn't, go sideways. You have, John Cook and Michelle Preston dealing with 45 since last September. They get like a call every other day.
45 visits. There's hundreds of calls that have come in. Hundreds.
It's sick. It's a coordinated sickness. It's not free speech at this point. It becomes a course of conduct. It becomes, just a crazy use of the resources of the system, of the governmental resource. It becomes a problem. And for Megan Fox and for Tug and for all these other people in the ecosystem of the Halesverse to sanction it, it makes them just as bad, if not worse. Jeremy Hales is a little man-child. But, you think that Randy Shockett would be an adult in the room. You think that Megan Fox would be an adult in the room. And they're not. They're worse than he is because they know better and they do worse. That's the problem.
Yeah, she definitely knows better. And Shockett, I don't think cares. I mean, excuse me. In my opinion, he's just, looking. It's all about money to him. That's all he cares about.
Look at what he does. He's in state court doing one thing, then he's in federal court doing something else, then he's in bankruptcy court doing something else, then he's in this court and that court. What other court? Is he going to be traffic court next? What is he going to be in? What is he going to go to clown court? This guy goes to every court. When you're a real lawyer, the real lawyers go to like one or two courts. That's like the top lawyers in the world. Like, you have a lawyer and they do appellate practice, say, and they'll show up at the Supreme Court of the United States or one of the top federal circuit courts of appeals or the state Supreme Court, like a big court. That big time lawyer does that. Other lawyers are like trial lawyers and they do a particularized type of trial law, right? So you have a personal injury lawyer, not an ambulance chaser. I'm talking like a real personal injury lawyer. Like you have yourself like a big thing, like, Morgan and Morgan down here in Florida. They have a team that's like the top team. When you have like a multi-million-dollar injury, they have their top lawyers. Their teams of top lawyers, and those are real lawyers. They practice all around the state of Florida, and they know their craft. They go into the civil term, and they do a personal injury case. They don't know anything about the criminal term, right? They don't go into the criminal court. But you also have top criminal defense lawyers in Florida, and they go into the criminal term. You also have lawyers that practice in certain areas. And, if you have a Miami criminal defense attorney, it's going to look very different than a Naples or a Fort Myers criminal defense attorney, from an Orlando criminal defense attorney, from a Tallahassee criminal defense attorney, because it's a different community as well. That's the other thing, too. Randy Shockett runs into every court. He's like Rick Shot. He's like a jack of all trades and a master of none. And so he doesn't know what he's doing in half these places. Look at him. What's he doing in bankruptcy court? I don't think he knows a thing about bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a very, very, specialized area, bankruptcy.
Yeah. Well, Jeremy admitted today that these depositions are, he's also admitted it before, but he's actually admitted today that these depositions that he's doing is all for his other cases. And I'm like, oh my God. And all they're doing is pissing off like the judge and the trustee. This is ridiculous how much paper about all this other bullshit, and supposedly now I'm getting a subpoena for a video I did the other night, and it's like, are you joking?
Listen, don't even worry about that. It's such a joke. I told you what you should do. If it were me, I would accept service of the subpoena, file objections with the court, and make him go to the judge and say, and tell the judge what the judge to order. And if the judge looks at that subpoena, he'll laugh it out of the court. I swear, the judge will laugh at it. All it's done is for Palomop. So they're going to try and do the dodgy Robbie, send the G-Man to your house. What I would do if I were you is I put a posted no trespassing sign at your house, and if anybody comes in your lawn, fucking blow them away. It's Florida. Shoot first, ask questions later. If you catch him on the lawn, drag him into your living room and put another one in the back of his fucking head, and then call the cops. That's what I would do. Yeah, that's why I don't. That's why I don't have any guns. You know, that's how. That's
Yeah,
how I roll.
I don't either. So no, that's not something I do. But I hear what you're saying. And apparently, according to Cooper,
God bless Florida, and God bless the Castle Doctrine. Amen.
right? According to Coop and his co-host, to forget her name, it's D spills the bullshit. Most of those weren't calls from people; they were follow-ups checking to make sure MP and JC did what they were supposed to do. Look, Coop doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Okay, there was no open case against John and Michelle or anything going on. It's now a new case because of what Jeremy did the other day. Okay, and Megan inciting people to call. They got a 3:30 in the morning phone call, and if it wasn't because of all the reports that have gone on before, and knowing that Jeremy's caused all this before, they would have been there at 3:30 in the morning. But they did show up. They showed up with the sheriff. They told him why they were there. Okay, so Coop's an idiot. Coop doesn't know what he's talking about.
Coop is an idiot. He's a total idiot.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he makes the shit up all the time. He has no clue whatsoever.
Like,
And
like the fly on the wall, right? Remember the fly on the wall?
Yeah, the fly on the wall.
Coop was the one who came up with fly on the wall.
Yeah,
right. We should talk about that in a little bit. I want to show another one of these videos. Another short one. Let me show this one. Okay. Here we go. I wanted to play that first because today the confidential documents for Haley's adoption were doxed online. Somebody in the Hales ecosystem has put that stuff online. That stuff is a minor and confidential information about a minor that really shouldn't be out there.
Was it put online just for like the titillating value,
or retaliation? It was because Jeremy Hales was one of the
No, hold on. Does anything in those documents show that there was fraud, mismanagement, malfeasance in the adoption?
Not at all.
Nope.
So that's the
Rick,
point.
We had the adoption attorney on here and explaining everything that happened.
That they put it out there for no purpose. If they wanted to show fraud or malfeasance or something like controversial, then sure, show it. But there's privacy laws for a reason. They're scumbags. Yeah. These people are scumbags. That's what they're. It's the only explanation. Why would you put something out like that? You are a scumbag. Okay. Yeah. And then Jeremy's like, "Oh, I'm so happy you're scumbags. You're the best people in the world." Well, because you're a scumbag, Jerm. You're the king of the scumbags. You're the scumbag cult, and you're the king of the scumbags. That's what you are.
He was thanking them today and trying to cover up for what they did with the adoption, saying that Michelle put all that paperwork out there. And I'm like, look, okay, there's certain things that were produced and certain things that were not. They went and they looked that stuff up. Michelle didn't put all that stuff out there. Okay, but we actually had the the attorney who did the adoption come on. She was on our show. And we talked to her. Bruce was there. I was there. And we talked to her and we asked her all kinds of questions. And whenever there's questions or things that pop up and I'm able to talk to someone, I ask the questions that everybody's talking about. And they've been answered. So they need to go back. They really give a shit about the adoption. They need to go back and hear directly from the attorney because she was on here. And they need to shut the hell up. They're sisters of a biological father, this whole big auction off thing for them to have to raise money, which they were raising money. That is a fundraiser. They were raising money and raised, I believe Melissa Lemmerman posted that a total of $48,000 was raised for this lawyer for the bio aunts. And all she did was filed 2 documents in a court case. Okay. And it was, she had no standing, and that's exactly what the judge said, that you have no standing to any of this. And even in those documents, you put an address that's to a vacant lot, that there's nothing there. Like, what are these people doing? They tried to claim that her brother didn't know he was signing anything. It's bullshit because he signed it not just once, but twice. Because they signed it, they didn't sign it at one thing or whatever. I mean, all I know is that there is a document that I saw that I know where it came from, and Michelle did not post anything. She didn't post shit. And we had the adoption attorney on here. So if they want to know the truth, they can go back and look at that video that was done with the adoption attorney. It was probably about a year and a half ago, but they can go back and look. Michelle's saying was not the birth mother. I don't know. It was a birth. I don't know what she's referring to though. But they were saying that both parents did not sign away, or they were under the influences. Now there's a new reason why that they shouldn't have signed away. And who knows? All I know is they knew exactly what they were doing. The woman knew what she was doing in the hospital. They left Harley at the hospital and went back up north. They left her there. So, don't give me any of this bullshit. They left her there while they were up north. They were sent paperwork to sign. It wasn't notarized, so they had to re-sign it again with the notary. It's just a bunch of bullshit. And the fact that they're even posting it, and why? What for? Because they know what Jeremy did by inciting people to call CPS, and then Megan doing the same thing. So Melissa Lemmerman decides to go and post on Facebook paperwork that she's found that's sealed for the adoption. What does she think that's going to do? Yeah. What's the point of doing it, Melissa? The child is Michelle's child. She's legally hers. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. So the point of the matter is this, and I'll show one more about this.
Sorry, Rich, I was just reading the chat.
On this issue is about how what his ulterior motive is. This is what his ulterior motive. Everybody knows what it is. Here it is.
Okay.
No life. Not only is John Cook and Michelle Preston, but the life of this beautiful young girl at risk. And we hear about this. But he's been continuing to do it. He goes in and he thinks he's going to win, and he loses in court. He brings a new piece of paper to create new content. He's not losing. He's winning all the way to the bank, and he's doing it on the backs of people, and he's doing it to children. He's a disgusting individual, and Randy Shockett is a disgusting individual for sanctioning it.
All right, yeah. And
John Cook says right here, Mike. John Cook says right here, 45 visits since that video in September. You documented it in September. 45 visits since the video. 9. So that's what happened. He's going all the way to the bank. He's a sick bastard. Jeremy Hales is a sick bastard. He's going after children. He's trying to hurt children, right? And since then, they did Mike Volpe did a interview with John and Michelle back last September, and John Cook said 45 visits since that 9 months. 45 visits in 9 months. That's crazy. That's out of control. That's like more than a visit a week. That's how crazy that is. Think about that.
I was so bothered by it, Rich, that this had to be a year ago. I called them and I said, look, I understand that you can't tell me any information, but I just want to know for my own, I just need to know whether or not you realize what's going on when it comes to the Preston case. And what's going on with the online incitement of calling CPS. And she goes, are you referring to Jeremy Hales? I said, yes, I am, in fact. She goes, yes, we know all about it. And I was like, okay, that's all I wanted to know. And the fact that she said that to me, I knew that they knew what was going on, and I was not necessarily happy, but I also know that they're not going to be able to tell me, a lot of information. So I just left it at that. But now,
and for good reason, it's the law. You're not supposed to do that about kids. Yeah, this guy has no frigging regard. He's a piece of shit, and everybody who's with him is a piece of shit. They got no regard for children. They want to hurt children. That's what these people do. They're sick people. They don't belong on the street. They're sick people.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on now. There's an investigation, not just in regards to the family and Harley, but the people that are doing this. I know letters have been written to DeSantis about it.
No, the governor is involved. And the next governor is going to be involved. If this governor doesn't take care of it, DeSantis just executed somebody tonight. He got 26 executions. He's taking the trash out, And if he doesn't take this piece of trash out, we'll have another governor that'll take the piece of trash out next. So his days are limited. If he's smart, he won't come back south of the Florida-Georgia line. That stupid son of a bitch. If he's smart, that's what he'll do. He'll stay back up in Ohio in that godforsaken place in his little bunker up there, and he'll stay there and he won't come back. But if he wants to come to Florida and roll the dice, and he can feel free. Let him come down here and roll the dice.
Yeah.
Dumb son of a bitch.
Lisa said that about the call to CPS a million times, but Muggins still say that Lisa called CPS on. I did not call CPS on Michelle and John. They're such liars, those two. Anything. I have never called. Why would I call? I have been in the presence of Harley so many times, and all I keep telling you guys is how happy she is. Okay? There is nothing, there's no reason, there's no harm to the child in any way, shape, or form. You know? Because you don't like the way a property looks or something like that is not a reason to, call CPS. You have no idea what's going on. You know, you're not on that property. You have no idea. And this child is happy. She's a very happy child. Always has a smile on her face. And you guys have been doing this to her for 3 years or more. Okay. Since she was 3 years old. She's going to be turning 7. Okay. And so Megan just lies about everything. You know what else is happening as far as Megan goes? So she was apparently away, I guess. But for Michelle's live on Saturday night and my Sunday night live, including my little live I did last night, actually it wasn't so little, but my late night live I did last night, I put them under members only, right? From what I get of a screenshot of the subpoena, Randy Shockett is saying that I did a video under members only and charged people $500 for it, which is not true. My video was public, okay? And I put it under members only to block Tug and Megan or anybody else from infringing on the copyright, right? Because if it's under that membership where there's no members at all, no one will see it. If you didn't watch it when it was there, that's fine. I'm the one that's in control of those videos, not them. I get to control who gets to see it, okay? So last night, Megan came back and went live. And in her live, she put Saturday night's video on there. She used Sunday night's video on there. And then Tug has used the transcripts from that. And they don't seem to understand what derivative works are, right? So I'm going to explain what derivative works are.
Ooh,
a derivative work. Yeah. A derivative work is a creation that is based on or derived from one or more existing works. This could mean adapting, transforming, or recasting the original work in a new form. In the context of copyright law, a derivative work might include things like translations, musical arrangements, dramatizations, fictionalizations, motion picture versions, art reproductions, abridgments, or any other form in which an original work is transformed or adapted. For example, making a movie from a novel, translating a book into another language, or remixing a song are all considered derivative works. The creator of a derivative work needs permission from the copyright holder of the original work.
That's right.
Yep. So,
and that's a very important point, Lisa, because every one of the videos I do, I let anybody want to use it, mix it, anything else. I consider it's all fair use because I have a journalistic product. You have content creation, and so when you create content, you're no different than a recording artist or a motion picture in the sense that they can't take a clip from what you do unless it's a fully newsworthy value. So that unless
which it is not.
Use, unless it's fully newsworthy value, that they have the burden to prove. They have to prove that. You're protected in your content, in the creation.
However, when it's behind a paywall, they are not able to use it.
When it's behind a paywall, it's pretty clear that it's not intended to be fair use or mixable without consent or anything else like that. So they're in a world of hurt. You can bring a copyright case and win pretty easily.
Yeah. And that's what's happening. So I now have her on 6. I haven't even gone over previous things, but I have her infringing on 6 of my recent videos. I want to say within the past month and a half.
She's so
6 of them.
worthless. Really,
Yeah.
she's so worthless.
I'm like, wow, you have no content, none. You know, and you're using me. She's also going after this girl Jess Mikado, and I mean, I just don't want to get in the middle of that whole drama. It seems like there's a whole big to do about that. There's quite a few people that seem to be going after this girl, and I don't want to be part of the Megans of the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I don't want to be. I don't know who she is. They seem to be attacking her on every little thing, just like they do here and about Michelle. So, but I don't really know what's going on over there, and I have not looked into it any further. I just keep seeing her, and then Shizzy's copying her, and so is J Hip talking about her, trying to make money off her, profit off of
That's what it is, but it's the same game. Now I'm going to tell everybody something. If you were paying attention, I did a show with Bearded last week, and I talked about some issues, and it's gone nowhere else in the Hales verse. None of the Hales people want to talk about it. At least I have a couple of clips that I can show. I can recap the whole thing very quickly, but I do want to set it up as he's been spending. You can confirm this for me, Lisa. He's been spending 2 years calling me paint chips, saying that I eat lead paint chips. I'm some kind of retard. I'm some kind of person that's crazy. That's this, that's the other thing. And last week, Randy Shotgun files on behalf of Jeremy Hales a document showing what a great lawyer I am, that I'm the most brilliant person they've ever met. That's what it says in these papers. You haven't heard this from Tug. You haven't heard this from Megan. You obviously haven't heard this from Jeremy. You haven't heard it from Shizzy. You haven't heard it from Mr. Coop. You haven't heard it from anybody in their Halesverse that they filed this paper. You only heard it from me. Lisa talked about it a little bit. Robbie talked about it. But you only heard it from us because in court, he went in and he did 2 things. One, he said, I'm a great, intelligent person, and I'm too smart. I'm smarter than they are. That's basically what they said. And number 2, they said that the judge was wrong and I was right. They basically said that in their papers. So they had to put those papers in to try to, get a legal purpose, but it didn't play in the media because it doesn't stick with their misinformation campaign, their disinformation campaign. It doesn't fit with their palm. You haven't heard about it. And I challenged them to try to explain what Jeremy Hales and his lawyers put in, Randy Shotgun put into the court, saying that I'm so great and so brilliant. How can I be paint chips if I'm the most brilliant person ever? And so I have a couple of videos where we talked about this. So let me talk about this.
Okay. Do I need to put up my fair use thing?
Yeah, well, you don't have to. It's only me.
Okay.
It's these things. Okay. Sophisticated legal research and citation, strategic use of conferral processes, detailed factual investigation, preparation of declarations, knowledge of jurisdiction, service requirements, and procedural safeguards. Yes, I know all this. So I say still to this day I was never served. And this asshole, Jeremy Hales, and his lawyer admitting, I know federal jurisdiction, service requirements, and procedural safeguards. What a bunch of fucking idiots. So they're saying how great I am. They're saying that I'm great. I know what I'm doing. So either I'm crazy or Judge Hinkle got it wrong, but Luthmann shouldn't get anything from it. So that's what they said. That's what it said. They spend their paperwork saying what a great person I am, how smart I am, that I know this, I know that, I know jurisdiction, I know how to do declarations. And at the same breath they're saying, oh, he wasn't served. Well, you're saying I know what service is, you're saying I know jurisdiction, and I'm saying I wasn't served. What are you people doing? You're morons. You people are just stupid. You're talking out both sides of your mouth, and it's coming out your ass. That's what these people are. They don't know what they're doing, and they can't keep up. So when you see, this is the stuff that's the most important stuff. It's on the docket. Every piece of paper that goes onto that docket, they fawn over. They spend hours going over a page after page after page. You didn't hear anything about the responses that Randy Shotgun put in last week because they were detrimental to Jeremy Hales. They were broadsides in his case in Fed 2, or what's left of that case in Fed 2. It's pretty stupid, and it shows that their entire ecosystem is moronic. They're not honest brokers. They don't cover things to cover them. They cover them what they're told to cover. So it's basically a PR network. None of these people are journalists. Megan's not a journalist. She's a friggin' PR director. That's all she is. And all these other people are parrots. They parrot back what they say. They have a whole thing that they talk about, and that's what they do. So they're
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Pi, so much for the super chat. Thank you, guys. Just sent you a cash up. Let's get this legal fund going. Yeah, let's do it.
Now, the other thing that they did, Lisa, is you remember fly on the wall, right?
Yeah.
Remember they come in and they say Luthmann's detached from reality, that he thinks that somebody has knowledge of the courts, or Jeremy Hales got to somebody in the courts, or this or that.
Right.
I put the paperwork in that says, well, I'm not detached from reality. Here's a transcript from Fly on the Wall. Here's when they said it on Mr. Coop. They talked about Fly on the Wall. They said this, that, and the other thing. I put it in the papers, right? if Fly on the Wall was false, if it never happened, and you're Jeremy Hales and his lawyer, what do you say? Luthmann's crazy. Luthmann he's delusional. There's no such thing as a fly on the wall. We have no inside information of the court. The court is right in that it's detached from reality. That's not what these idiots said. They said the exact opposite. They said, oh, yeah, there was a fly on the wall, but it really, we can minimize that. You don't have to pay attention to that. This is what they said. This is the crazy part about it. This is what they said. This is like a bombshell, Bearded. He's saying that the fly on the wall transcript is not false. What do you think about that?
Why did he put that down to begin with? I don't get it. Yeah, he just fucked himself.
Yeah, he said that the fly on the wall he's fly on the wall is true. So they didn't deny that the fly on the wall was true. They just said that it doesn't support the theory that Luthmann is crazy. It supports the theory that Judge Hinkle was wrong. He's saying the fly on the wall is true, and Judge Hinkle is wrong. That's what they put in these papers. That's how stupid they were in these papers. They're saying that there was a fly on the wall, that Luthmann, that what Luthmann said, it's not that it isn't true. It's the saying Judge Hinkle is wrong. That's what they said in these papers. You notice they haven't read any of these papers. Bearded saw it right away. They're just like, man, they fucked themselves there. That's the clown show that they have. Randy Shockett is not a good lawyer. Going back to what I said before, he's a jack of all trades and a master of none. He's the type of guy, he'll be in traffic court one day. If he didn't have Jeremy Hales, he'd be in traffic court one day, he'd be in family court the next, he would be doing a DUI on the next day, and then the last day he'll be trying to do an ambulance chaser case. And that's how he would do things. He would be a jack of all trades and a master of none. And that's what he is. He's not really a good lawyer. He was a shitty dentist that became an even shittier lawyer. And that's what it comes down to. The guy's a joke.
I think Doreen's writing all his motions, because he called her the queen.
Come on, Doreen is planning plastic surgery.
Oh my God.
Get the fuck out of here. Doreen's planning her next tanning session. Get the fuck out of
here. Oh my God. It's funny. I never watched, that video that they did on Foreman, at that time. I've watched it recently. And I'm watching, I'm like, first of all, this girl is on something. Completely on something. Her hands are all over the place, her hair. And I'm like, how old is she? She's looking like she's like trying to be in like an 80s video, or something. She's got the ripped jeans, with the holes in the knees. She's got this, leather studded bracelet that's like going halfway up her forearm. And she's like throwing her hands in the air. She's constantly drinking, moving her hair out of her eyes. And the ponytail thing. I'm like, oh my God. How old is this woman? Well, by the way, he refers to her as his wife now too, because he seems to be a little upset at the fact that there's a whole bunch of bar complaints, and he's trying to like use her as a proof, that these are false accusations and stuff with the bar, But
happy horse shit.
Yeah, but he calls her the queen of motions, and I'm like, well, if this girl's writing these motions, then she's causing him problems because they're so far-fetched and untrue, Just with the thing I saw on me with, the members only thing, she totally mixed it up, Like, okay, it was not that way. It was public and then put under members only. Crazy lady, Why can't you pay attention to that? Why can't these people see what's going on? Because all I'm going to do is prove it in court, And they're trying to come after me apparently for one video that they want all the financials on it and the whole 9 yards, And, people think that because it's behind the members only, you're making more money, That's not necessarily true. Me right now, because of how small my channel is, I only have so many members, but I don't have any members behind a $500 paywall. None, which is why I put it there. Okay? So that way, nobody gets to see it. But what they're all doing is they're forcing me to put my shows behind the paywall. I make income on my channel when the ads are viewed. Okay? So if I put it behind a paywall, I'm not making that ad revenue. Okay? I'm making the ad revenue when it's public. So by me doing that, them forcing me to do that to protect my channel, my videos, my site, they're making me lose income. You know, so for them to even question and want to know how much income came through, you know, it's a joke. You know, and those results aren't even going to be in till August anyway, the end of August. You know, so I'm like, okay. But you know, I'm just laughing my ass off at all this, that he even thinks that he could do that. Because if that's the case, wouldn't somebody be able to subpoena all his financial records for every video that he's done on, I don't know, myself, or let's say John and Michelle, and all the videos he's done? Couldn't John and Michelle, or even in bankruptcy, because hey, he's a creditor just like I am, right? Even though I'm not participating in it, but if they force me to, I will. Yeah. But couldn't they subpoena all his information?
The problem is that the problem that they're trying to do, Lisa, is they're trying to pull money back into the bankruptcy estate, and they're trying to argue that you're holding money that properly belongs to the bankruptcy estate. So it's a far-fetched theory. You have to say that Jeremy's has money that should be part of the bankruptcy estate, but you know, you're just someone that's being subpoenaed at this point. If you're in an actual litigation against him, if he files another litigation, then you can do that in the next litigation. Right. You know, yeah, we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see where he goes. And this is more Palomar. If you saw what the document said, the document's a joke. It really is. It's a notice that he intends to file a subpoena. Okay, and then the subpoena itself is like, you know, it's not even a subpoena for you to testify. It's a subpoena for you to give up some documents, and the documents are a fishing expedition. So if you file objections, the court will laugh it out of court. You know, he'll get laughed out of court on that. If it goes to court. So we'll see what they do. They'll probably serve it. They want the drama show of them trying to serve you. Dodgy Robbie, you know, blue That's what they want. And I'm telling you, accept service and object to it, and make him go back to court and make him lose. Because when he goes to court, he loses. You know, he's really a loser in court. If you look at his litigation record, it's not that fucking good. He's pretty shitty. You know, so it is what it is. I would do it that way.
Yeah. It's hilarious though. But you know, it's funny because he's talking about serving me. He said that we were all going to dodge things, but yet he goes on his live and saying he's going to Vietnam to avoid being served. You know, serve me in Vietnam, ha ha. You know, I'm thinking, are you kidding me right now?
I don't think he comes back from Vietnam. I bet you get thrown in a China box and disappears if he goes to Vietnam. I wouldn't. If I was him, I would not go to Vietnam.
Well, there's only one reason I would think that he would go there, but you know, that's
the girly boys. Yeah, that's the reason why he would go. Yeah, that's what he is. That's the kind of sick person. He's a sicko. What he would do this, what he does, you can tell by what he does. He tries to hurt people maliciously. He's a sick bastard. So nothing's out of bounds for a sick bastard. So
yeah, I have another thing here I wanted to share. So let me just put this up there because it falls in line with, you know, the fair use stuff here. Rosalind Duke, okay, put up this video, this post today, basically saying, trying to threaten Michelle, right? And saying that Michelle's lying about something and she's got all these receipts, right? And I'm like, really? I'm like, receipts, huh? Let's talk about receipts, because Tiggy DeBounce, I call Tiggy DeBow Wow, okay, seems to be putting up a lot of different things, and Megan was praising her about receipts and stuff. And I'm joking about this last night, and I'm saying, you got to be kidding me. These people couldn't possibly have receipts. They're talking about the fence. They're talking about Christmas. They're talking about this. They have no idea what has come in to me. The emails that I received or any type of gifts I've received, they don't know. They only know it from one person and another woman making an accusation that she refuses to prove that she did anything, right, or sent any gifts. So these people are saying they got all these receipts, and here she is threatening Michelle today about her receipts. But I want to show something else, okay, too, because this is what they all do. Let me stop this and add this other screen here. Let's see, where is it? Let me see. Tiggy the Bounce, I had stated the other day, and several times actually, that the temporary restraining order against Jeremy that Michelle dropped, she voluntarily dropped it. That's also the case that they're bringing into Fed 2 now, claiming that Michelle, they're trying to put allegations against her for malicious prosecution. And they bring up that case because she voluntarily dismissed it. And I'm laughing about it because she voluntarily dismissed it because they were going to bring it up in Fed 1, right? And take care of it there. And so Tizzy goes and starts talking about it. In no way, shape, or form does Fed 1 even mention the thumbnails case, right? So I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, is that right? Here, this is mine, so I can just remove this so that it's not on there so people could say, I'm like, is that right, Tizzy the Bow Wow? You and your little receipts you got over there. Hold, please. Bruce reminded me of this, actually. So let's scroll down here. Okay. So this is document 70 in Fed 1. It was filed on February 8th, 2025. And there's 13 pages in it. So I'm going to scroll down to page 11. Let's see. I'm just going to read a little bit of this. Okay. Since, Tizzy the Bow Wow has all the receipts, that Fed 1 says nothing about the thumbnails case. Here we go. Count 2. All right, this is page 11 of Fed 1. Let me make that. Here we go. Okay. Count 2, Florida Statute 540.08. The plaintiff has misappropriated the defendant's image and likeness by placing them on video thumbnails in order to advertise the videos as Bad Neighbors videos in which the defendant appear involuntarily as villains in the plaintiff's contrived YouTube storylines. The plaintiff's use of defendant's image and likeness has been without their consent. The plaintiff's use of the defendant's image and likeness has been for commercial and or advertising purposes in order to increase views in videos and revenue to the plaintiff from the videos as a result of using the image of the defendants. Because of the plaintiff's unauthorized use of defendant's image and likeness for commercial and or advertising purposes, the defendants have suffered loss and injury and are entitled to recover reasonable damages, including royalties. Now, guys, isn't that evidence that it's in Fed 1? This is filed in Fed 1. Okay? So that right there is proof that it's brought up and it's count 2. Okay? Count 2 in this filing. Document 7-0. So how does that fit into your receipts? And John Cook even posted something on her video proving this to her, and she removed it and deleted it. Why? Because she knows she's lying. She knows. I have no problem debunking these people at all. And now we got Tizzy the Bow Wow. Here's Robbie. What's up, Robbie? So
hello, everybody. Hello, Lisa Lee. Hello, Richard. How are you doing, my good
Robert?
For a second, Richard, you look like you're eating popcorn.
Oh, I'm kicked back.
Robert.
Hello, buddy. I got my tequila. I got my cigar. All right, let's see what's going on.
No, we're just chit-chatting. We've gone over.
Hold on. It's on commercial here. So I don't know why I get an ad all the time, but I do. All right, I'm connected to live chat. Hello, Miss Lori. Hello, Crimson. Hello, Bonita. Hello, Noel. Hello, Debbie. Hello, Lucy. Hello, what was I thinking? Hello, Mike. Hello, Julie. Hello, Doreen. Hello, Tammy B. How are all you beautiful people doing?
We're good. You sound like you're in a good mood.
Hello, Mary Kay.
Can you hear me,
Hello,
Robbie?
Amanda. Hello, Pandera. Hello, F. Pate. Hello, Cupson. Hello, Connie Sue. Hello, Harper. Hello, John Cook. Hello, Mary Sanders. Hello, Lucinda. Hello. Oh, that's Noel Breeze again. Hello, honey.
Robbie, can you hear me?
I don't know why I can't hear Lisa.
Rich, see if he can hear you.
I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. I just can't hear Lisa. I'm like, Lisa's letting me get away with saying hello to everybody without interrupting me? No way. Get out of here. Tease Jebs. How are you, sweetheart? Peace out, much love, sweetheart. How's my favorite lesbian doing?
Come back in.
What was I thinking? Monica, I'm going to have to redo this because I can't hear Lisa. So, Lisa, I'm going to refresh. So let me back.
Okay. Sorry, Rich. Rich, when you moved up there, it looked like you were eating the popcorn.
Okay. Well,
It was pretty
what
funny.
it is. I have actually a picture to show everybody. Actually, a couple of pictures. Remember, I want everybody to be because you talked about before about that Larry Foreman situation.
Oh gosh. Mm-hmm.
Got the picture of that. This is the picture of all of them together and put it on for me. You have to put it on the show. This is when they all got together and they were all, crazy and basically drunk. I think I don't know what they were.
Yeah, or
she was acting like a crazy person. And
I think she was on something else, but okay.
Well, there's more. I've put this evidence out there before, for looking like a weathered sea hag, but here's some of the evidence.
He said sea hag.
Yeah, she looks like the sea hag. Remember Popeye? They had the sea hag.
Robbie, can you hear me now?
I'm gonna put it.
Yes, I can hear you, Lisa.
Okay.
I thought I was on a roll. You were giving me a chance to say hello to everybody without interrupting me.
I was interrupting you, actually.
But I couldn't hear you.
For the audience, check out the slideshow. That's her.
Oh my God, Richard, I love you.
This is the Sea Hag show, and this is all true. This is the truth, right? I'm a journalist, so I have to show the truth. But this is like the Sea Hag show, and there's more to the Sea Hag show. Everybody's seen the Sea Hag show, so I'll give another one on the Sea Hag show. And this, I think she's very proud of this one at the Sea Hag show. If you want to put that one on, I'll take that one off, and you can put the other Sea Hag show on. That's her backstage at the Sea Hag show.
Look at her.
I don't know what's going on with her.
What the hell is that?
They're doing like some type of Sea Hag show. That's what it is. They put all the.
How old is she?
Hello, great.
I don't know. I have no idea, but I hear her holes are about 3 and 6 months old. So that's what I hear. Her holes are very young. All that Jeremy money. Randy's buying her new holes. So,
dude, what the hell?
There's also another one I do have to show, which is a very important.
Bud Light.
Wow.
Let's see. Here it is. Let's put this one up. This is it's something that needs to be shared.
Talking about Sugar Booger, she definitely appeared like that in Foreman's video. That's for sure. Whoa! Oh shit! Instead of adding you, I removed Robbie. Hold on.
Put Robbie back because he's got to watch.
Hey, sorry, Robbie.
Oh my God!
I went to sorry.
Now this one is on X, and I don't know. Everybody can see this one.
Yes.
What the hell is this?
Oh, you got to be joking. Is that her really doing that? Is that AI? Oh my God.
What I just did. I'll put it back.
And this girl wants to be a judge?
This is someone who was wanted to be a judge.
Yeah, and what did she do? She campaigned illegally or something like that?
Yeah, she took all campaign contributions. Oh.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. That's funny.
Good stuff, right?
Yeah, that is funny. But she wanted to be a judge down south, and apparently she's filing to be a judge in a bunch of different places, different counties. But the problem with the one down south, what was it, Boca Raton area?
She made a felony campaign finance mistake, solicitation, and it's a very, very serious offense. And she got away with it. But her also a former husband died. Her former husband was a doctor, and he died of drugs. He was all total mess. I wrote a few articles about this. I have some old articles. Go to flgulfnews.com. and check out my articles and type in Inculus, and you'll see all the stuff about her. I have a whole bunch of stuff on her and on the Pocket Rocket's family, and how he screwed over his ex-wife and his kids and ran away with Jezebel. And oh God, they're such terrible people. They're disgusting, disgusting people. But that's how they are. That's how they roll.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Robbie, you seem like you're in a good mood tonight.
Dude, I was in a great mood. I ate dinner, went and fed my baby Crocs, and was trying to hurry up to get over here, but I had, tubs to feed, and I fed the baby tortoises while I was there. So, Richard, you got my dinner turning in my stomach there, dude.
Shit happens. It is what it is, right?
I just want to see a drug test.
Right?
Well, for us, I think we need drugs after seeing that. You're right. We don't need drugs. Get the fuck out of here. Valium after that. Holy shit.
Yeah, they want to say stuff about other people, and it's like, oh my God, that was not just alcohol. Sorry.
These people are all wacky. They're just wacky people. That's what it comes down to.
You guys sent me that video with Foreman, and I was like, oh my God, it looks like LA in the 90s. It looks like she's coked out of her mind.
Yeah, that's what it appears like,
Well,
and I'm not saying she is, but that's what it looked like. I was holy shit.
Terrible. And they're calling her queen of motion writing or something like that. I'm like, really? Then if she's writing all his motions, then why was someone like, all of us pro sage able to basically kick their asses, or Shockett's? It's going under Shockett's name, but I don't know. Well, I can't wait to see this full.
Is she actually a lawyer though?
Yeah. She tried to carpetbag her way up to Central Florida from Boca Raton. She did divorce law in Boca Raton for years, and divorce law, I'm telling you, it's like if you're a bottom feeder, you either do personal injury or divorce. And all you're doing in divorce is you're sitting there just making the stuff go on and on and on and on and on, so you get paid more money. It's a joke.
Right.
So, that's what she does. You don't have to be too smart to do divorce law. You just got to be able to show up. So that's really what she does. And then she figures, I'll move up here. I got Randy. I got the Pocket Rocket now. I'll become a judge and everything else. They weren't having that up in.
Did they see that video? Is that why she didn't get hired as a judge?
No, that was her at the goddamn at the. I don't know what it was. It was the CHEG convention, I guess. That's what you got to call it.
Bodybuilding thing.
I don't know what. That's not bodybuilding. It's like the fitness. I don't know what it was. It's like a CHEG. It's the CHEGs. They all get tanned up and shriveled, and their bodies are all terrible. Their faces are terrible because they work out too much. They're probably taking stuff they shouldn't be taking as women. They're probably taking hormones and shit and everything else. It's like it's out of control, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
If Randy's going to go for that, go for it, Randy.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
dude, if that's what floats your boat,
right?
Yeah.
Christ.
There's nothing worse than a woman in her 50s trying to look like she's in her 20s.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure because she's involved. She's part of Randy's law firm, and he says she's been writing the motions and stuff, but everything's under his name. But that video with Foreman ties her to a lot of the claims that have been going on with the raising of the funds, or the illegal funds, and stuff like that. So I believe so. I just know that there are quite a few bar complaints against.
And Jared, that's about the same level.
Yeah.
Or Kathy Griffin. Did you see this thing? Kathy Griffin is dating some 23 or 24-year-old now.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow, talk about a cougar.
Dude, her face looks like Madonna's. It looks, hello, Gigi. It looks cat-like. It's that same plastic surgeon like.
I actually saw a recent thing with Madonna. She doesn't look as bad as she did, like 2-3 years ago. She must have stopped taking a lot of that Botox or something.
I don't know what it is.
Taken. She was looking looking like Catwoman, but she didn't look that bad in this video. She was working out with some fitness trainer and singing one of her own songs. So John, he said hormone.
Bonnie, hello, sweetheart. Yeah, that one's definitely moaning.
Did you say hello to Megan, Robbie?
Oh, hello, Megan.
Because she gets really upset.
That's just hey, it is what it is. Connie Sue, how are you, sweetheart? It's I don't know what I don't know. Just women like that. I don't what age gracefully and just be you. You know, it's
Right.
I hate all that plastic stuff. That oh
But it was okay in the 80s, wasn't it, Robbie?
no, because the women I dated in the '80s that were all glammed up weren't 50 years old.
Right. Well,
Cougar meant 35, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God. So what's
funny.
the latest though in the pet
Lisa, I just dated porn stars. I had standards.
I know.
Wait,
I
do
know.
you want me to
I'm
show
referring-
you, Lisa? Do you want me to show the story about her husband, her first husband?
Sure.
I could show that. That's actually a good one. I got that right here. Actually, let me put it on the screen.
Hey, Richard, let me ask you something.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Shockett, he was married and had kids?
Yeah, oh yeah, he had kids. I have pictures of that. I have a story about that too. But I got one up right now. I got it loaded up for the ex-husband. So you want
But he left his wife and kids for this woman?
Yeah, totally did.
What?
Yeah, I'll show you the pictures if you want. I'll put those pictures up next.
I don't. You know what? Okay. Well, all right. This is an article.
Yeah, there's an article. It's out in the
Good,
public.
Connie said.
Okay.
So this is the Pussy's Got Claws article, right? And this is the one where Itty Bitty Kitty was the I thought was during Turner Inclus. But I talk about the interaction, right? Inclus entanglement with Hales isn't her only controversial alliance. Her current beau and law partner, Randy the Pocket Rocket Shocket, has a sordid history of his own. And observers wonder if Inclus's influence will lead her to ruin, just like her last husband. This is Randy the Pocket Rocket Shocket, looking as charming as a serial killer. There he is. Shocket, once a dentist in Missouri, was booted from the dental profession amid fraud and perjury scandals. In 1990, the Missouri Dental Board suspended his license after he admitted billing insurance for work never done and even lying under oath in the investigation. Shocket tried switching careers to law, but Arkansas's highest court slammed the door on him. The Arkansas Supreme Court found he failed to establish good moral character and declared there simply is no place in the law for a man who could not or will not tell the truth. That's what the Arkansas Supreme Court said. I'll read that again. There is simply no place in the law for a man who cannot or will not tell the truth. Shockett was denied admission to the Arkansas bar for his pattern of fraud, perjury, and utter
I
lack
got to
of
agree
candor.
with that.
Somehow,
He's
Florida
still
gave
doing the
Shockett
same
a
shit.
second chance, and he's been practicing there. But now he's firmly in Inclus's orbit. The pair have earned the nickname Florida's legal loose cannons after teaming up to file quixotic lawsuits in rural Levy County on behalf of Hales. Is she a man-eater? Luthmann quipped about Inclus, noting how every man in her life seems to end up disgraced. And here's Paul Martin Inclus. That is her earlier husband. Indeed, Inclus's former husband, Dr. Paul Inclus, was a prominent Coral Springs psychologist until drug abuse destroyed him. He lost his medical license after a heroin and cocaine overdose, and then, while out on bond for drug charges, killed a man in a DUI crash. Paul Inclus was found with a pharmacy of narcotics in his system and later pleaded guilty to DUI manslaughter, earning 7 years in prison. This is her first husband. People didn't know about this. This is how this guy was doing drugs. You know, when you have couples, when you have one part of the couple doing drugs, a lot of times you have both people in the couple doing drugs. You find that a lot? That's how you find an experience. If one person, does drugs, the other person tends to do drugs. You don't find that a lot where one side does heavy drugs like heroin and cocaine, and the other side is pretty straight-laced. You don't find that a lot. It's like you have, two rock stars. You'll have Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love, and they're both getting fucking high as all fuck, or you got people that, just, we'll go out for a couple of beers and everything's great. But, there's not, usually that balance doesn't happen. So it makes you wonder.
Yeah.
So now observers wonder if Randy Pocket Rocket Chocolate will meet a similar fate. Since falling under Inglis's spell, Shock had abandoned his wife and kids for the temptress who dresses like a teen. There he is. There's Randy. This is him before Ozempic and before anything else that Doreen's given him. There's the family years ago, and they're all adults now. And the wife he left. This is them there, and they left him. He left them. This is the family he abandoned. There's Randy, the pocket rocket, right? He was a family man. He used to be a respectable individual, but he's not that anymore. Look at him. This is the family that he abandoned for Doreen Turner Inkelis. Can you believe this? Can you believe what a sick bastard he is? But you know what? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree because he's just like Jeremy Hales. You know what Jeremy Hales did to his family? This is the family that he abandoned. He destroyed his family. And then he has his daughter who runs around LA, gallivants. She looks like she's got daddy issues. So this is all on from her Instagram. Look, adult daughter, does she have daddy issues? She looks like she's on the pole. I hate to say it. That's what happens when they go. And there he is before, right? And here he is now. What happened?
Yeah.
Is this Ozempic or is it Ozempic Plus? Or is he doing the Doreen Turner Inkelis workout now? And there's a Hinkle, our buddy. So that's that for this. But yeah, that's the story on that. If you want to know the backstory, I got a lot of the backstory. I published a lot of the backstory. I did a lot of the backstory. I know the backstory. That's how these people are.
I just don't like showing the kids on there. You know what I mean? I mean, I understand.
They're not kids anymore. They're all adults. You can show that.
Right.
Those pictures are so old. Every one of those pictures is at least 20, 21 years old.
Wow. That's just a shame, man. That, people like that tearing apart families, And I mean, shocking to me, they all just seem very greedy. They're very greedy people, and it's pretty sad. Pretty sad,
Hey, have you talked about what he tried to do with the trademark, his name? Have you talked about that yet?
No, I have not. Well, a little bit, but you all right. We got to talk to you about that because that just when I saw that,
funniest shit ever.
I'm reading your article, right? And I'm like reading it, like yeah. And I'm like, because I knew about the pending trademark, because everybody's asking, did he trademark George? And I looked at it, and I'm like, no, the only thing he's got pending is a what the hell thing. He already has one what the hell's trademark, right? He's got another one pending for what the hell's, and then he's got Jeremy Hales. There's nothing on George. So I saw all that. So I'm reading your thing. I'm like, all right, Rich found out about, the pending trademark. And then when I got to the bottom, I'm like, no, he didn't. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, Jeremy's going to blow his top.
Yeah. And he notice he hasn't said anything about it. You notice when he tries to do anything with anything with the law, he brags about what he does. I'm filing a lawsuit. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to go after this one. We're going to go after that one. We're going to go after this person. We're going to do whatever. So this is the thing. I'll actually get this ready. I'll get this story up here because we talked about it. I'll show a clip first to let everybody know. But I want to go just laser pointed for everybody. So when Fed 2 started, right, and you remember what the whole Fed 2 was. You were there, Lisa and Robbie. His whole point was to try to get everybody to not say bad things about him. He's trying to control what people say. He's trying to use speech as a weapon. And in America, you can't do that. We have a First Amendment. He tried this Lanham Act theory and the trade practice theory, saying that it's not speech, it's confusion. It's this, that, and the other thing. And they're confusing Jeremy Hales and my brand and everything else, and they're causing me harm by what they're saying. But what he did was he lost Fed 2, but what he tried to do back in January before Fed 2 got dismissed in April was to put in a trademark in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office and trademark his name, Jeremy Hales.
Right.
And so what he was going to do was he was going to try to use that initially to bolster his argument that, I have a trademark. I have an actual trademark here. Jeremy Hales is trademarked, and they're infringing. Right. The case got dismissed. So he didn't have that, but he's still going through putting the trademark through. And what happened is on June 23rd, the trademark got published. And so there's a whole process when you file a trademark. You got to show an exemplar. You got to show, this, that. And so what a trademark is everybody knows what a trademark is. It's like the Nike swoosh. That's a trademark. You look at the swoosh, you think Nike. The golden arches, you think McDonald's. You know, there's trademarks out there. Everybody knows the New York Yankees symbol is a trademark. Coca-Cola trademark. You see it, you notice it. People they don't have to speak English. You just see it, and you know what it is. Little kids can't read, but they understand the trademark. They know McDonald's. You know, they know
a symbol or words or phrase or logo that
it's a symbol.
identifies.
It's a symbol, but it's not. You can't trademark a person's name because you have to be able to use it. And there's a whole part about fair use and everything else in the trademark statute. I can't go and say, listen, I trademarked Lisa Lee. Now nobody can say Lisa Lee except for me without my permission. And if you say Lisa Lee, it's all over. And you can't do it the other way and say, I'm going to trademark Richard Luthmann, and nobody can talk about Richard Luthmann without my permission. Well, that's what
not
Jeremy
only
Hales
that, there's other Jeremy Hales people, out there with the same name.
Well, that's true. However, it's about the usage of the word too. So Michael Jordan, right? There are plenty of Michael Jordans out there, right? But there's only one Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Right. So there's a nuance there. We understand that some guy named Michael Jordan can't go out there and he would be deceptive if the real Michael Jordan were the case if he tried to do stuff. But in other places you can use it. Like they did this a lot in politics. When John
Actually,
Kennedy,
Terry, I just want to correct you there. It wasn't George that came up with the name of his ex-girlfriend, Holly.
It was a Jeremy and Holly Adventures. That's all over that.
And she came up with what the hell. But go ahead.
So you have in politics, it's very famous that they get people with the same or similar names to go on the ballot. And that's not a problem. Like John Kennedy did that back when he was running for the state house in Massachusetts. There was an Italian guy in the Democratic primary named Russo, and his father paid another guy named Russo to get on the ballot to split the vote to make sure that Kennedy would win. So that happens all the time with people with different names, and that. But for trademark, it's different. If you're a public figure, you have a use of the trademark. If you show that there are things, if you show the factors. Michael Jordan's an easy one. Everybody knows who Michael Jordan is. Yeah, Michael Jordan could trademark his name, Jordan 23, all that stuff. That could be trademarked. Jeremy Hales, he could potentially trademark his name. It's not going to be as powerful to do it, but I can object to it as a journalist, and I did object to it as a journalist, and we'll see in a second, because you can't trademark your name to stifle journalism, and that's what he's trying to do. He tried to do that in the Fed 2 case to get everybody to stop talking about it and saying bad things. And I'm saying that his trademark is put in for bad faith purposes in order to circumvent the trademark law. I'll play a quick clip on that, actually, a short clip, and then I'll put the article.
No, Terry, you're good. He has everybody thinking that because George has said it for so many years and nobody would know that, but it was actually his ex-girlfriend Holly. Go ahead, Rich.
Here we go. We'll talk a little bit about what trademark law is. I know people have questions about what trademark law is. Okay, and the trademark law is very specific. The point of trademark law is not complicated, unless someone is determined to misunderstand it for litigation content or polymorph. A trademark protects source identifiers in commerce. It helps prevent consumers from being confused about who made, sponsored, endorsed, or sold a product or service. That is the lane. That is the castle. That's the whole kingdom. It's not a gag order, a restraining order, a personal reputation force field, or an emergency bunker for an influencer who got called out in public. So that's the point. The point and I'll put that article up in a second. But the point is that what is Jeremy trying to use a trademark for? He's trying to trademark his name, and he's trying to use it as a gag order or a threatened gag order. You said my name without permission. I'm going to sue you in federal court. I'm going to make it so you have to deal with me for 2 years in court. You're going to have to hire a lawyer. You're going to have to do this, and I'm going to make polymop about you the whole time. Yeah, that is what this guy does.
That's his new income stream, is court cases.
Yeah, because none of the stuff he's doing there is really helping him. So this is the story that I put out the other day. This is like last week already. But this is, do you have it up?
Yeah.
It's called Germ's Favorite Toy.
And this the whole Game of Thrones? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I made this article because, in my old life, I was called the Game of Thrones lawyer, and I love Game of Thrones. Right. And it occurred to me that, what is this guy doing? He's running around with his new little favorite toy. His trademark now, he's going to trademark his name. It's his favorite toy. It's a little pacifier. He's going to wave it around in the air, and he reminds me of a character from Game of Thrones. If anybody who has seen the show, Theon Greyjoy
Yeah.
or Reek. He's the
When
guy
I saw that, I was hysterical laughing. I'm like, oh my god.
He's the guy. If you haven't seen the show, he's the one who he basically pretended he thought he was like bigger than his britches, and he got put down to size really quickly. He got made into like like this guy's slave, and then the guy cut off his member, and then he ran around the earth as a pathetic individual. And that's what Jeremy is. He's a real pathetic individual. And the most important part about this article, and if you want to read it, it's a good article. It's on my Substack, and it's everywhere where it is. But and we talk about it. Germ and Reek and the favorite toy. This is the guy Theon Greyjoy, and that's Germ. And as I say, Germ wants to play with a spear. That's what he wants to do. He's got a new little toy that he wants to play with, and that's what this trademark has become. And this guy in the show ends up cutting off, Theon's toy. So, and we have the trial by combat offer in here, and I talked a little bit about that because trial by combat comes from the Game of Thrones. Really, that's where it got popularized. When I made that offer, I had done that offer in 2015 before. In New York, when I was in court, I said, if you want to go with the trial by combat, let's go. And it got on the cover of the New York Post. And as soon as I told him, let's go trial by combat, he ran away. And that's the whole point. The guy in the show, actually jumped overboard too. He runs away. There's me as King Robert, King Luthmann right there. And so the point is this, okay? And I read that part before. Okay, that the trademark isn't a gag order, restraining order, reputation force field, or an emergency bunker for the influencer who got called out in public, right? We talked about the Lanham Act. Everyone knows the Lanham Act, right? We know it from the last lawsuit, okay? Yep. It's about false advertising, false designation, right?
Richard, you look quite handsome as a king.
Let's put that back up there. I'm a pretty good-looking king.
You do make a really good-looking king, buddy.
I'd be King Richard. Yeah, that's a good-looking king. There was a King Richard before, so that was pretty good. That guy was pretty good king. Anyway, so that's the point, But it's the problem is that, the Lanham Act does not supersede the First Amendment. It doesn't supersede journalism. It doesn't supersede public discourse. Okay, you cannot tell.
See you tomorrow, Mike.
You can't tell somebody that you can't talk about Jeremy Hales. Right? If a journalist writes about Jeremy Hales, criticizes Jeremy Hales, mocks Jeremy Hales, covers Jeremy Hales lawsuits, identifies Jeremy Hales as the man who talked up trial by combat before ducking the consequences, which is what he did. He said, "File it, fatty," and we won't object. Well, I didn't. There's no trial by combat because you ran away.
Oh, don't worry. They're telling me to file it, fatty too. It's like a thing now.
And there we go. There's one of the sea wenches right there. Did anybody trademark George? I asked that question. Okay, but the big part is this, okay? And this is the part that's the fun part, okay? And he has his magic trick. He's trying to, trademark his name. It's never going to work. There's Germ in the dungeon, for everybody to see. He looks looks a little better than he normally does, actually. He looks pretty good right there. And there's the other guy in the dungeon when he's getting his junk chopped off. So they kind of look the same. But, and then there's the little imp. There's the imp. There she is. That's
oh my God.
That's the imp. That's the imp of the Hales verse. You like that, right? That she kind of looks like the imp, doesn't she? She can pass for a midget.
Yeah.
She can totally pass. She can totally pass for a midget. And the point is that.
Richard's article we're looking through right now. Go ahead.
Now here's the point. That's the most important part. Winter. They say winter is coming. Well, winter's here for Germ's trademark, and the winter is Richard A. Luthmann Jr. I will put my disclaimer up. This section is informational.
It's going to be a harsh winter, my friend. A harsh winter.
Informational in nature and should not be construed as professional advice of any sort. I'm not telling anybody any advice, and I'm not telling anybody to do anything. But if you see what I did, I'm going to tell you what I did. And anybody could do what I did. Here's the part Germ probably did not explain to the Hales verse. The trademark is not registered yet. It is sitting in what's called the opposition window, which means the drawbridge is still up and the public can walk into the United States Patent and Trade Office, the USPTO, and the Trademark Trial and Appeal Board, TTAB, and object. You can still object to Jeremy Hales's trademark application. And you have until, it went in there in June 23rd, 2026. Here's the number, Jeremy Hales. Here's the actual filing that he put in, right? He put it in on January 15th, 2026. He paid $350. The mark is Jeremy Hales. That's his trademark that he's going for. And then we have Jeremy Hales, and we have a P.O. box and everything else. Well, this is the specimen of his trademark. Remember what I said before? It should be like McDonald's or Nike or Air Jordan or that is what he's trying to trademark. He's trying to trademark his name.
His name. Yeah, it's not a font, a specific
You
font.
can't do that. There's no font.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing specific about it. That's the point.
Yeah.
It's not specific enough. He was hoping that nobody would notice this and it would go through. And he'd
Right.
have a
No,
trademark.
no.
And well, it won't go through now after you see what happens. This is his trademark specimen. Like if he did like some type of art or anything else, Jeremy Hales, then it might go through. But this is his. He's trying to do this specifically to trademark his name. So he can say, "Oh, you can't use my name. It's trademarked." He'll have Shaka send a cease and desist letter. And see, says you're using my name. This matters because the publication on June 23rd started the 30-day clock, and the extension is due by July 23rd, 26th. What does that mean? Anybody believes that they'll be damaged by the registration of this trademark, Jeremy Hales. Anybody who wants to talk about him in commentary, in YouTube, write about him, do journalism about him, even discuss him, they can file a notice of opposition or a request for extension of time to oppose before July 23rd. You have another week to do it. You have a little more than a week. So what do you have to do it? Well, it's right here. If you go to my article, all you got to do is hit on this link, right? It takes you to the filing page, right? And then all you have to do is put in the serial number, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And it takes you to GERM's patent application or trademark application, and you say that you want a 30-day extension. The 30-day extension is free. You go on there for free, and it's a free 30-day extension. And they give you the 30 days from the last day of the filing period, so which is July 23rd. You get 30 days from that. Okay. After that, you might want to do a 90-day extension. That's a $200 filing fee. But the 30-day extension is free. Now, here's the point of the objection. If you're somebody who covers something, Lisa, you talk about a man named Jeremy Hales, and Robbie, you talk about someone named Jeremy Hales, and the audience discusses Jeremy Hales, right? This is true, correct? Do you feel that you might be damaged if he said? If
Oh yeah, I mean that would mean that if he sues me, I can't talk about it because he's the plaintiff.
And that's the point.
Yeah,
GERM cannot use a personal name service mark for commentary as a fear weapon against
Raw Doggy
journalists and commentators who must identify him by name to report on him. You could even say something like this. If you decide to go to that link that I have up there and file the free 30-day extension against Jeremy Hales, you could say potential opposer Richard A. Luthmann Jr. requests a 30-day extension of time to oppose application number 995-97033 for the mark Jeremy Hales. Potential opposer is a journalist, publisher, and commentator who reports on Jeremy Hales and related public controversies. The potential opposer requires additional time to review the application, prosecution history, specimen, claimed use in commerce, and potential grounds for opposition, including whether the applied for personal name functions as a service mark for the identified class 041 commentary webcast services, and whether registration may damage potential opposers' lawful reporting, commentary, criticism, and nominative use of the name Jeremy Hales. See that?
Huh.
That's exactly what I did. I filed this with the United States Patent and Trademark Office, the Trial and Appeals Board. Look, I filed it. That's the date. The date of this was filed 7/7. This was filed a week ago today. I got my receipt, right? You see that?
Yeah.
And then I got a 30-day extension, right? I got that all there. And then a few hours later, the U.S. Patent and Trade Office, we'll go past the name there, they gave me an order. My request to expand is granted. This is the Patent and Trade Office of the United States till August 22nd, 2026. So this means that if I had not filed this on July 23rd, that day, when that day closed, the 24th, the patent or the trademark would have been closed, and 11 weeks later, he would have received his trademark. Right. Now I've at least pushed it forward another 4 weeks. So he's not getting his trademark when he thought he was going to get it. And if I can decide to continue to file forward, I can request a 90-day extension beyond that, right, to put together my documentation, and then put in a full objection to the trademark and put in my opposition. So that is what we're doing here. Okay. Now the big part we have is, and Robbie and Lisa, you can comment on this. The reason why I think I have to tell the trademark people about Jeremy Hales is he already showed the pattern of why this trademark's in bad faith, and he did it in Fed 2. Right? Fed 2, he did this in order to do punishment by process, right? How many people were defendants in Fed 2? We had, 11 people who were defendants?
11, yeah.
And they had to deal with this for how long? On a Lanham Act issue, where he's trying to shut people up, get away the First Amendment, right?
Yep.
And I think that's what the court's public record said. They put the Lanham Act directly in there. I think that has to be brought to the attention of the Trademark Trials and Appeals Bureau. You know, by these guys. You see the 2 judges from Westeros. You know that these guys know what's going on. The judges from Westeros. But that what he did in there, and here's the Dragon Rider. You ever seen this guy, the Dragon Rider? I think the hat's a little weird. So there's Robbie playing with a reptile.
My pet dragon.
That's right.
He's such a good boy.
I think that he's got a real problem because the court, the Trademark Bureau, is like it's not a court. It's like it's an administrative agency, of the federal government. It's like part of the executive branch, but they have to. They'll take the findings in Fed 2, the dismissal, and they're going to look at that. That's like really strong evidence that this thing. I'm going to, of course, talk about being a journalist and trying to talk about this. How am I going to name him? It's a stifling, but I can show that he's used the trademark law in bad faith.
Yeah. We need the Hobbit King in there.
We'll get something. We can do something else, but and that's the point. He's trying to make criticism into confusion, commentary on authorized use, and he's trying to call journalism counterfeiting, and he's trying to stifle critics. So that's the point. The point is that's why we have all this stuff. And here's the germ right here. I don't know if I have the volume on, but tell me if you hear this.
No, please, it's mine.
Yeah, I can hear
this. This will protect me. You can't take it. It's legal. It's mine.
But that's what he's a little bitch. He's a little bitch. He's going to have his piece of paper. He's going to have Randy come with his piece of paper and say this, that, and the other thing. And I have it all in here if you want to know the stuff. But the big thing I said was the pocket rocket, right, and the meter that never sleeps. The pocket rocket's starting to become the real villain of this story. Germ is starting to become a joke, right?
Right.
And while the adults are doing things, Germ is wandering around, and he's an idiot with a bunch of money. Fooling his money will soon be parted. And it looks like the pocket rocket's just running the meter, right?
Yeah.
A client may be clueless, but a lawyer is supposed to be the adult in the room. From the outside, It looks like Germ keeps wandering into the legal woods with a frying pan on his head, while Shockett walks behind him with an invoice pad, nodding solemnly as if this is all very serious. He's playing a billing game.
Yeah.
Right? He's playing. Here's the two of them. Here's him and the Sea Hag together. They get paid by the hour. That's how they roll, these two. So I got them in nice Westerosi clothing. Her orange face. So it is what it is. But the question is this: when a client repeatedly mistakes the courthouse for a personal revenge machine, and counsel keeps fueling the engine, observers are entitled to ask whether the lawyer is offering sober legal judgment or just mining the client's illusions. Think about it. And that's what the point is here. I think he's just playing games. I think that's what
I might have to put that line in my rebuttal there, Lisa.
Sober legal judgment.
There's the point. Courts have enough real disputes. They don't need another Hales versus content script just as a federal question clothing. And that's the truth. That's what this trademark is going to be. He's going to try to use this as a situation. And so first it was lawfare. Now it's trademark. Next week maybe he tries maritime law because somebody said shipwrecked in a live stream. That's how pathetic this is coming. That's really he's becoming a joke, and that's what it is. He can't.
What do you mean becoming? This whole thing has been a joke.
Yeah.
It's thank God judges saw it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was only a matter of time, though. But the reality is, I mean, we all pointed out in all of our, motions to dismiss how ridiculous this all was. And it's, it's all about content and Palma, And I guess
His worst thing he ever did was include Richard in this.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I remember that day so well. I did, because I was like, oh my God, yes, they added Richard. I just knew Richard was like,
all I kept thinking of was Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't believe he still goes forward. He still tries to prove some kind of point that's never really there,
He tries to justify it.
Yeah, and there's no way of justifying it. It's not there. He's lied about everything.
And he's been caught in lies. He
over and over again.
And they don't see it.
I debunked him on this channel. That's what I do. I debunk him every day with something, And now I'm debunking other channels because they're trying to follow his narrative, thinking, he's going to help them in their channel and build their channels because he's always promised that, the whole bartering thing, and it's just wrong. I mean, now I'm going.
Strictly.
Now, hey, Strictly. Now I gotta, sue one of Socket's clients, possibly two at the same time, for copyright infringement.
Yeah.
And and I am going to make the courts, and including the bankruptcy court, if I have to deal with that, I'm let them all know what he's currently doing, because he was. He lost his case. He lost Fed 2 against me, everybody except Richard and Michelle, as of now, you know what I mean? For failure to state a claim, And I think the circus that's going on right now.
Monica, that's exactly what his son said. He speaks with a golden tongue, with a forked tongue.
Yeah.
I called him a silver-tongued shit brick. That's what he is in my book.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all this stuff, it all leads back to Hales. So one by one. So that's why I am, and they think that if I need $5,000 to sue Megan, that I'm going to be laughed out of court because I won't have any money to fight the rest or something like that. Well, she's sadly mistaken. Okay, I am looking to raise the $5,000 to get the retainer to file. And if anybody wants to help out, that's absolutely fabulous. That would be great, much appreciated. And that is something that's going on. That way, I know that there's support there, there's the fight there, and I will go forward with it. I'm not even joking about it. I have a really good attorney who
knows what they're going to try to do.
Yeah, who also works in entertainment law and works with creators and copyright law. So to me, it was like, oh, well, this is fabulous. Well, I have another case for you then.
It's a perfect fit.
It really is. So I'm really excited about this attorney, and who will remain nameless until it's necessary. But it's really important that this moves forward, and I'm going to move forward no matter what. So it'd be really cool.
For the love of money, Terry.
You better watch out. Megan's got socket. Oh, please.
That's what she's hoping for.
We kicked their ass, pro se. We kicked their ass.
That's what she's praying, that she has Socket.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure Socket will try and take it on. Look, Socket's on a warpath right now. He's got over 10. He says 17. No, he's definitely got about 10, or if not just a little over 10 bar complaints based on what everybody's saying that they filed, And I know there's 3 in there from me, and he's about to have number 4, So there has to be about maybe close to, 14. But because I am definitely whatever I deal with him, because I know even in email he's gonna be a jackass because he's like that. He tries to like dehumanize you in his emails, like where you're simply just trying to confer with him, and you're you're looking for something that is normal, legal, and
Look,
tries to decharacterize you, huh?
look what he tried to do with the email to me. He Googled something in Hungarian and put it in there in Hungarian, Richard, knowing that I speak, read, and write Hungarian. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Seriously? When I read the email, I was like, okay, I just lost all respect for you. Why would you go there?
Right. He's letting you know he knows about you, Robbie. He knows
And good.
He's taunting you. He's taunting you.
It's dude. Listen, I realize I live rent free in your head, but I did nothing.
Yeah.
And this is what you're gonna do to me? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what he tries to do. Like with the whole, deposition thing. I tell him I'm not going to be there. I'll see you in the morning. And fully knowing he didn't give me enough time. He also didn't send that check. Not that I care about the check, but it's part of the subpoena. And now there's supposedly another one. And it's like, and Jeremy's bragging about it on his live and saying, that they're going to come after all my financials and all this crazy crap. It's like, dude, you're not entitled to any of that, and some of the stuff he's asking for, isn't it illegal? I mean, so, we'll see what we get. But whatever it is, it's all in the harassment. There's already a criminal investigation on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of his clients. 5 of them is part of the criminal investigation right now. Of Socket's clients against me. And he's still going to try and harass me. And then Jeremy's trying to use me, to somehow get into all this other crap. And fully admitting that he's using these depositions and stuff for other cases. So that means he knows it has nothing to do with bankruptcy.
See, I'm going to tell you, Lisa. I'm going to tell you what the strategy with Germ has to be. This is the easiest strategy to do. It's kind of the strategy that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Don't give him a chance to make more Polymop that you can't use. Make Polymop yourself, and then kill him with paperwork so that he has to pay Randy to do it. You notice that I file a motion every time somebody farts. I file a request for this, an objection to that, blah, 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 blah. And every time Randy Shockett comes back with 20 pages. Like that's the cap. You have 20 pages. Every one of them is 19 pages or 20 pages. So he's billing the shit out of Jeremy Hales every week or so. I'm giving Jeremy Hales a $10,000 legal bill. Every time I have to do stuff, it's taken me a few minutes to do it. And I send it in, and then Germs has to give it to his lawyer, and the lawyer's got to read it, and they put together a 20-page dissertation on everything that I do.
Joy.
Most of it can be dealt with in 3 or 4 pages.
Must be charging him a hell of a lot of money based on how much money his legal fees are. I mean,
think about it. Even if it was only $100 a page,
right?
Last week he put in what 20, 30, 50 pages worth. That's five. Right. That's $100 a page is $5,000. He's not charging $100 a page. He's charging more than that. If he charges $200 a page, it's $10,000. Right. So think about how much that stuff is. That's how you get him here. Because if you raise the cost of his content production, because all this content production, the sunk cost that he has is the lawyer fee.
Right.
So all you have to do here is raise the lawyer's fee. That's all you got to do. And he's going to say, okay, we're going to have to slow this down, or we won't go after these people as much. We'll pick somebody else who doesn't want to go after. That's all you got to do in this. With it's a simple ball game.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Let me ask you a question. Since this is not my case, he's not suing me. This is because I'm a non-party to the case, right? It's Michelle's bankruptcy.
Kill his Polymop for your part. Kill his Polymop. And then use whatever you have to create your own Polymop. So kill his Polymop, contact Shockett tomorrow and say, Shockett, I'm accepting service. There's no dodgy Robbie blue tape. Oh, here comes G-Man. There's none of that for a month. There's none of that shit. Okay,
Right.
you sent Shockett an email. You accept service, and I want to give me agree on a date that I can respond by, and then when you respond to the court with objections that say, Judge, I'm a pro se party. This is a fishing expedition.
Yeah.
And this guy, Jeremy Hales, has a history with his lawyer, Randy Shockett, of doing these types of frivolous filings in order to generate internet content. And because of the frivolous nature of what's being requested in the fishing expedition, it actually makes my point even stronger that this was filed for an improper purpose.
Right.
Jeremy Hales and Shockett have the burden then to prove that there's a legitimate reason why they filed such a broad subpoena against Lisa Lee in a bankruptcy case. And what's the goal of the bankruptcy case? The only goal of the bankruptcy case for a creditor like Jeremy Hales would be to increase the size or value of the bankruptcy estate. The only belief is that
Michelle's estate.
Right. You have money that belongs to Michelle, or probably does belong to Michelle. It's the only reason why that's there. That's all the trustee really cares about, and frankly, that's all the bankruptcy judge is going to care about. So you just you hold it right to that. Say, listen, the issue is, what is the claim that they have? Make them state their claim, why they believe that the bankruptcy estate, Michelle's bankruptcy estate, is going to increase by the delivery of this paperwork, or is it a fishing expedition and harassment? And I already have the proof that it's been harassment for years because he's been a serial litigator against me and against others. Put that all at the court. Then once that's in the court, in the bankruptcy court, your objections, your nice objections that you'll file, then you sit here and you read your objections with Robbie. Maybe I'll come on, I'll read some of it. We'll bring everybody on, we'll read it, and the other fucking people won't be able to read it. Because it'll all be true. It'll all deflate everything they have. You understand? I file all this paperwork. They don't read any of my paperwork.
Right. How come I'm the only YouTuber that admits I have no clue about this law jumbo mumbo bullshit?
Well, I'm
the only one who doesn't pretend to be a fucking lawyer and understand this. Richard was a lawyer. Yeah, but you have lawyers explaining it to you. And, these other idiots out there, they act like they're lawyers.
Yeah. Well, my question is, too, though. So when he's subpoenaing, me, and now, obviously, if I respond, then I'm going to go in there and blah, blah, blah. He's having to pay Shockett to do all this, right? And another attorney.
If you file objections, Shockett's going to have to respond to those objections with 20 pages worth of shit, and he's going to pay another $10,000 to respond to you. You're going to get all the content out of it because your objections are going to be all the shit that he's done. You're going to say, I object for these reasons.
My point in saying this, though, is that so he's going to charge Jeremy for having to write all this stuff and answer, rebut me, whatever. But now, in the end, with this bankruptcy, all they're going to do is they're going to try and charge it like for fees against Michelle and against her property. So he's trying to build up what he's going to try and claim.
But that's the point. If you're going to show that this is a fishing expedition, and that's what you're going to say. You don't use those words, fishing expedition. Mm-hmm. If this whole thing was a fishing expedition that Randy Shockett billed Jeremy Hales $25,000 for, you're going to say, look, $25,000 of the billing, at least we know, was part of a fishing expedition. What else was a fishing expedition? What else is something that didn't increase the material value of the estate? If you're doing attorney's fees and you're asking for that, then you have increased the material value of the estate. You've done a service to the estate, so you should get the fees to that. Well, they're not doing anything that's increasing the material value of the estate. Half the reason why they're filing the subpoena is because of shit that somebody said on a live. That has nothing to do with the value of the estate. The bankruptcy petition was filed over a year ago, right? It was filed a long time ago. So what does that have anything to do with? It's nothing. It's Palomop, and it's clearly not going to increase the value of the estate. So they're not going to get fees.
And they're talking about, from what I understand, this subpoena is about this one video that I did last Saturday night, but they're asking for all kinds of correspondence and stuff.
You can ask whatever the fuck you want. That's the beautiful part. You can ask whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, here's the funny part. They're trying to, and
You know, I
Jeremy
want to
says
fuck
that
Sydney
now-
Sweeney. I can ask all day fucking long. You know what the fuck? These people are fucking crazy. That's what it
and
is.
Jeremy on his
Obviously.
live last night, or sorry, 2 nights ago, was literally saying how they're going to dig into the past and whatever, and they're going to go even back further. And it's all because they think I'm holding money for Michelle. And the thing is, I've never been sent money for Michelle. Never.
These people, they're out of their fucking minds. They have nothing
You know?
better. They're grabbing onto this thing. And, you know, Super Dave did the video a few months ago where he showed that nobody fucking cares. Really, nobody fucking cares.
I love me some Super Dave.
It's killed his whole audience, you know. He should just go fucking back. He should forget about all this shit. You know, pull back all his cases, go back to doing some storage videos and forget about all of us. We'll forget about him. But he can't do that. His ego won't let him. He's got his little cult. It's never going to fucking work for him. But he's going to be dead, you know, in a media sense. He'll be drawing dead as a media figure pretty soon if he keeps this up. You can't lose this much and still retain credibility. You know, that's the problem.
I was curious, is Jeremy still trying to go after the previous lawyer that passed away's estate? Notice
he dropped that subject.
Yeah, where'd that come from? I believe Megan mentioned it a little bit ago, but I don't know if he's still doing that. Probably.
You do realize that if you walk into a court and try to do something like that, the uphill battle you have to like show like real wrongdoing, not some bullshit to try to steal money from a lawyer's estate. Like lawyers are
Judith, that's what he was always afraid of.
If you're a lawyer or a judge, right? You're a judge that's sitting there, and you have lawyers that are there, and you're the judge that rules this. Oh yeah, you could rob this lawyer's estate. You know, it'll be like holy cow, it'll be a panic because what they're supposed to do. These lawyers and judges are supposed to protect each other. So you need to have a real situation in order to go after a lawyer's estate after they're dead, to take the money, the food out of the mouths of their wife and kids. You have to have you have to have real juice. You have to have like a malpractice case. That's a real case. Like something you have to fuck up really bad. It has to be a black and white fuck up. Okay. Right. And at the end of the day, you know, most of the lawyers would go back to malpractice insurance, everything else, and they'll settle these things quickly. Jeremy doesn't have something that if he had something that was real, he would have had it, and if he was doing it for a real purpose, Shaka would have called up the insurance carrier and they would have settled it, and he would have gotten paid something, and it would have malpractice. This is drama, and no judge is going to allow that drama to happen that would fuck, in plain English, the wife and kids of the dead lawyer. It's not going to happen. It just doesn't. As sure as the earth turns, the sun would have to rise in the west and set in the east for that to happen. You do realize that?
Yeah. Crazy. Oh my gosh.
That's one of his biggest fears, Judith, was before when she broke up with him, and they've been broke up ever since. They're not together. You had this facade of them being together. That was his biggest fear. That's why he hunted her down, called every nursing home, everything looking for her, trying to find out where she was, because he was scared to death his child would die.
What about what's going on now?
See what he's doing. He's doing with the dead lawyer's family. So he makes a good point. Connie Sue makes a good point. How sick in his mind is he to do to a grieving family? You do that to a grieving family. This is what Jeremy's MO is. He'll do this. He doesn't care. You have a lawyer that's dead. He'll try to hurt.
He did it to Ray Bone Crusher.
Trying to hurt Ray Bone Crusher and his wife who died. He's trying to do it now to John Cook and Michelle Preston, right?
He did it to Mimi's family. Mimi's family.
He does. He's a disgusting person. He doesn't have that's the problem. I think this is projection, and I think this is psychological, because he doesn't have a family. He fucked up his family. He doesn't have a family. He doesn't have kids. So he has to go out there to hurt other people's families in order to make himself feel better. I think it's a very sick psychological situation he has. This is just one of the psychological situations that he has, in my opinion. But that's I think a core to it. If you read those divorce papers and you read the stuff, this guy can't be around his kids. The court said you're not safe to be around your kids without supervision. You know, you got to understand where you have to be in a situation like that. You're not a good person if that's what happens. You know, because if that ever happens, and it happens in divorce where something happens and they try to say, okay, there's somebody that's separated from their kids. After a little while, the court kind of figures it out. Okay, fine, we'll get you back in this and that. If you're an okay person, if you're a shitty person, unless of course it's a really bad and egregious case, but if you're a shitty person, you're not getting your kids back. And he never got his kids back. The kids didn't want to be with him. The court saw that. It's a mess.
Rich, I do have a question. Someone just brought this to my attention. If Doreen wrote Untruthful Motions, and even though she's signing his name to it, but is she certifying it by doing that for him because she works for the law firm? I mean, if she's saying that there's evidence,
he's signing his name.
The practice of law relates to the signing and filing of papers. So it doesn't matter.
Who wrote it?
Who helped and who signed it is the key. When you sign it and submit it, okay.
So she's not responsible.
No,
she's not responsible unless her name's on the brief or on the motion papers.
Okay.
But ethically, I think the Florida rules say that she might have to. If anybody that's on there should be named on the brief. Like if you go to a federal court case, anybody who worked on the brief is on that case. Some of these big firms, like one of the big law firms that they have like hundreds of lawyers. You'll have partners, and you'll have
but Richard, you just said some key word there: big firms.
Right, right. Well, because based off the video, and he's saying that she writes all these motions, she's motion queen. I'm wondering if she's writing those motions for him.
That's what I asked Rips. Can she be held reliable? And Rips said, unless she signs her name to it, then no.
Right. Right.
It's true.
So she would have to sign her name.
Right.
But she doesn't. Not on anything I've seen so far. I don't see her name on it. There was a certified thing that Shockett filed in the bar complaint where she's certifying something and her name's on that. And I'm like, what the hell does it have to do with it? Why is she certifying anything? So I was kind of, maybe she wrote his rebuttal. I don't even know. I have to go back and look.
Because she's panicking.
Maybe. I don't know. Because if he
loses his bar license, then her sugar daddy is gone.
That's true. That's true. And he's been remodeling his law firm, his law offices.
Well, he hasn't been. Jeremy has been.
Basically, yeah. So he's making money. He's making money. No one, you can't tell him what he can spend his money on, but let's see.
Does he have any more cases?
I don't know. I haven't actually looked it up. I do know that in Fed 2, he asked for more time to respond to a lot of the motions to dismiss, saying he had, other commitments or another case in one of them. And I thought it was funny that when it came to mine and I told him I was going to write another motion, he immediately responded to the first because I messed up on the motion to dismiss.
Yeah.
I did the first claim. And he immediately responded to my first one so that he could get that in there before the judge, said it was okay to use the second one. And the judge caught it. So Belitho caught that. And, but he's just a very sneaky, shady person. He really is.
Well, it's like I told you from the beginning, and Rips said it too. Rips is the one who told me. He goes, Belitho's just waiting to see what pans out on this, what a big circus it is.
Yeah, it seemed like that. It definitely seemed like that. And I was so glad to see that he was paying attention, Yeah,
well, especially when Richard joined, he had to pay attention.
Yeah, and I think he's definitely paying attention now. Well, and here's the other thing. They tried to recuse him, so he's definitely paying attention. And I know he's seeing it's way more of a circus now than it ever was.
Yeah. And Richard proved 100% what a big circus this is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if they want to be taken seriously, they got to treat the case seriously. They want to turn it into a zoo or a circus, then they treat it like a circus. This is what they did. They didn't keep a tight leash on things, and it's all within the hands of the judge to do what they can do with it. And the judge has a very broad discretion in how they want to manage the cases in front of them. And the magistrates do too. They could call everybody in. They could have done that very early on.
Exactly.
And they could have called everybody in very early on and said, "What's going on with this case?" And made Shockett come up there and stand up there and talk about the case at a conference. And the judge could be like, "Listen, from what I'm hearing, I'm not seeing what the fuck I'm not buying what you're selling. I'm not picking up what you're putting down. And the judge will say that very blatantly from the bench. They're like, "Look, I don't see this case." And listen, when I used to be a lawyer and I practiced law, I had this all the time. I would go into conferences. Some of them were in the courtroom, others were in the chambers, and you would sit there and you're the plaintiff. You explain what's going on with the case, and if you're a defendant, you sit there and you talk about what the defenses are. And I had a couple of cases where I had one of them was a federal judge said, "I don't see this case." I was the plaintiff's lawyer, and I don't see the case. And I said, well, this fact and that fact. And he said, "Well, then go back and amend it and tell me that. Or the way this looks now, it just doesn't look like a case to me." If they decided to do that with this case early on, if they decided to do that with this case even now, with what's left with me in this video that if you put it to them, it's Debbie Does Dallas reshot. But if it's it's a satire video. If they would bring everybody in, bring me in, and bring Shockett in, have a conference on this thing, or even do it over the Zoom, take half hour, both sides go over the issues, and the case would be over, or at least it would be streamlined. It wouldn't become a zoo.
Well, why are they allowed to make these satire videos and you can't? I mean, what, because yours they think is a sexual reference or something? Megan in her intro video she's standing on the back of like a dog sled, and she's got me, a cartoon character of me, Tori, and everybody else, and she's hitting us with a whip to take off and keep running while she's on this sled.
Oh, that's okay, Lisa.
Yeah,
Lisa, that's okay.
That's okay. She's beating us in a cartoon. I mean, seriously, you want to start playing like that?
Well, that's how, and that's what it is. It's rules for thee, but not for me. That's how they roll.
That's like, okay. When Richard first came into this case, I was like, "Oh, is this guy talking about?" And I had Rips was watching it because I called him and he jumped on and was just watching, lurking. And he's talking to me, and he goes, "I love this guy. He's a fucking genius." And I'm like, "What, Rips, what are you talking about?" And he explained to me, he goes, "Listen, if they want a circus, this guy's going to give them a 3-ring fucking circus that's going to be bigger than Ringling Brothers."
Yeah.
And I started to see what he was talking about. And I was like, "Oh my God, he's a fucking genius. This guy is so right on." Because if you listen to Rich, sometimes Rich is so on key and so point when he's serious. But when you bring these accusations that are just out of this fucking world, how do you return them? By something that's bigger than out of this world. It's out of the universe.
Well, when he calls me paint chips, I'll call him an alligator fucker. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's on paint chips. Okay, I'm paint chips. You just put in paperwork that says I'm a brilliant lawyer, that I can do all these different things. I'm better than lawyers. I'm better than your lawyers, Germ. And you call me paint chips. So I'm calling you an alligator fucker. Show me the alligator you didn't fuck. Okay, that's all I need.
That's why I keep saying, I'm like, I can go with the name calling, the tit for tat with the name calling, but when it comes down to this other shit, you bring me facts, that's fine. But I will bring you the facts.
Yeah, the name calling is fine.
Yeah.
The name calling, fine. Call me Dodgy Robbie all you want. I didn't do shit. Whatever you want to say. Good for you. I'm not going to pull over for somebody fucking chasing me around. Sorry.
Right.
in this day and age, I'm not going to do it. When my son's in the truck and I have other lives at risk, I'm not going to do that.
Well, not to mention, Robbie, when they did pull him over, he had a gun sitting right next to him.
Right on his seat.
Right on his seat, yeah. So you
it just baffles me on how his people can get behind the bullshit.
Yeah.
They don't see it. Open your eyes.
I don't even think they care, dude. They just want to be relevant, and they think he's
that's what it is. They think he's this huge YouTuber, which he's nothing in the world of YouTube. He's absolutely he's not even in the top 50%.
Yeah.
And just because they followed him for so many years, or they jumped on the story and started following him and don't even know the truth about the story, go out to other channels and listen to the truth, not just his minions, not just his little clan. You know, learn something about it. It amazes me what people do. It's like that Megan Fox jumps into the story late in the game, and you act like you've been best friends with this guy forever.
Yeah, I know. Well, she's best friends with everybody because it's her friends that she's, defending.
Yeah.
She doesn't even know the story. She thinks he came down to Otter Creek to create tourism. I mean, come on.
Like when you told me about that,
there was thousands of viewers who've been viewing him for way longer than she has. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, when you told me he came down to Otter Creek to create tourism,
yeah,
that's what blew it out of the water for me.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh my god. You're just buying into the spin. Go back to old videos where he says why he moved down.
Yeah. It's pretty simple. But no, she doesn't bet her shit.
That was the first question. I'm like, dude, why did you move to Otter Creek?
Yeah.
And he told me straight up, dude, I got this property cheap as hell. I'm going to build my warehouse there. I'm going to build my house there. I'm going to have a camp there, and I'm going to leave it all. It's going to be a Christian camp, and I'm going to leave it to my kids so I can leave them something to set them up in life. And, you know, he told me about him being a preacher and everything, how he was he
said the other week or so that he was not a preacher. He's never been a preacher.
He's told me he was.
He needs to make up his mind. It all depends on, what his state of mind is that day. So what he has been, what his past was, what his future is. I mean,
I was this guy's so cool. You know, he really cares about people, and this is awesome. I haven't
checked my email, Lori.
And it just...
Yeah, you got along with him great at first. You guys are like two kids out, in the
dude, we were best friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And...
Moses.
Yeah, exactly, Connie Sue.
Have you ever heard his sermons of preaching?
Yeah, I listened to him on your thing. I was like, oh my God.
I was asking Rich, have you ever heard his sermon?
Oh yeah, I saw some of that stuff. He's terrible. Really.
His accent, all of a sudden his voice changes.
Yeah. God. But he's doing
I wish I would have heard those before I started I would have been like, yeah, F this phony.
Yeah.
Really, he is such
a phony. The sad part is he was using you for content. And once he was done, he started a bunch of shit.
You know what? I didn't care if he used me for content. I learned a lot from him, and it was a mutual thing, but the biggest part of it is we were having fun, and I thought it was fun content.
Yeah, it was.
And
it was. But he started showing who he was when he went back. He was
Well,
going
no.
back to the
When I learned who he was is when George left him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he lied to me about saying George was up there for medical stuff.
Mm-hmm. Connie Sue is what on YouTube anywhere? What part?
Dusty old dude. Good night, buddy.
Good night, Dusty old dude. Are you referring to like the videos of Robbie and Jeremy together?
What's that?
You didn't remove any of that, did you?
No, it's all up there. I don't remove that stuff. It was part of my life, dude. It's what I went through. You guys, I'm an open book. I've told you every time I've been arrested. I've told you every time I got in trouble. I've told you guys everything.
Yeah.
I stand, dude. I've done stupid things in life. I learned from those stupid things. I moved forward. Everything. I'm a person who truly believes that God doesn't give us anything that we can't handle. Everything that happens to us is because we made stupid mistakes. And what did we learn from those mistakes? How do we move forward from them? And that's my belief in life. I mean, I literally thank God for every day I'm on the planet.
Yeah.
And I ask for God's guidance on everything every night. It's like when I got involved in this, Lisa, you know the whole story where it was pouring rain and I parked in front of that sign and I was in tears talking to you. And I'm like, God, just give me a sign. What do I do?
And you looked up and there it was.
There it was. The 10 Commandments right in front of me. The first thing I saw was thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And that's exactly what he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Connie Sue, it's a soundbite. You can look it up. I do have the link somewhere. It's not a video. It's a soundbite of him preaching to a congregation. And his accent's all different. And it's just funny listening to it. It's like, oh, my God, I couldn't even listen to the whole thing. But he changed his voice and just Moses and tells this story. It's really pretty pathetic. But I'll see if I can email me and I'll see if I can find you that link. But I played it a while ago. It's definitely on my shows, but it's out there and I'll find it for you.
And it's weird because even if you're a Christian man who's not practicing or anything, you still have good morals about you. You know what's right and what's wrong. Right. I know Richard's Catholic, and I was born and raised Catholic. I left the Catholic religion just because I'm a spiritual person. I believe that God, I don't have to go to church to pray to God or talk to God. I don't have to, do it through a priest. I can talk directly to God myself. And to me, the planet is my church. Nature is my church. And that's the way I look at life. And I go through life every day just trying to be kind to people. We're all part of his creation. And that's all I do. And if you've come across someone that you don't agree with or you don't see eye to eye with, that's fine. That's going to happen every day in your life. It's you determine where it goes from there. If you come up against somebody like a Jeremy Hales, sorry, that name is not copywritten as of this moment.
No trademark.
Nor is it trademark. You decide what you want to do. I don't have anything to do with him.
Right.
He said he's the one who attacked me. He called me a drug addict, said I was selling cocaine and using cocaine from the farm. He said I was, doing all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, you can test me in any possible way. I have been clean for 30 years.
Right.
And it's, you know, I got scared and went clean because one of my good friends died with a needle in his arm and a load in his pants. And I didn't want to do that.
Right.
And I knew there was more to life than that. And I prayed so hard to God to help me make it through that. And guess what? 30 years later, I've got 3 kids, a wife that I adore, 3 kids that I adore. And that's all a gift from God.
Yeah. Sure is.
It's just amazing. It's, to me, it's so amazing to me, the BS.
Yeah. Well, that's
that
what he
gets
tried
taught.
to use against you. That's true, Connie. So, you know, if he finds out something, and he knew your story from you directly.
Oh,
You know?
everybody who's met me knows my story directly from me because I share my story. I'm like, learn from my story. I lived it.
Yeah.
He's
You
a
know,
terrible
and
person. He's a terrible
Yeah.
person. Really.
he really is. He really is. I've got a good friend, Louis, who's a preacher in Akron, Ohio, not far from him, who watched 2 videos of his and said, this guy is the devil in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing about him that is Christian. Nothing.
That's crazy.
How dare you compare yourself saying I'm doing God's work by weeding out? No, God did not put you here to do that.
Right.
Well, that's just it. He's a narcissist, in my opinion. I think
100%.
that's, but it's beyond that. It's like super narcissism, like cult leader type stuff. That's what he's got going on. He's just his reality. He has to keep on inflating his reality because the truth will deflate it. So he avoids the truth at all costs. He has all sycophants around him. It's a disgrace. It really is. And he doesn't care who he hurts. Narcissists don't care who they hurt. They really
don't. They're about themselves, dude.
Yeah.
And I think some of his minions are right there with him. You know, narcissists as well.
Well, I don't believe that. I believe exactly what you just called them.
Minions?
Yeah.
Rob, are you there? We just lost him.
Is he there?
I think we just lost.
His whole group is just it's sad. It really is sad. You know, I don't know.
It's crazy. So, Rich, what's going on next with Fed 2? What are we waiting on?
Well, I got a bunch of motions that he had filed the other day. The response he got, and then I don't even know what I want to do with them. I could file like motions for replies if I want. You know, they're not going to go for it, so I may do it. I may not. Who fucking knows at this point? But then I'm going to wait for court orders and answers and things like that, and then I'll. You know, if I get what I want, I take it. If I don't, I object. I'm going to appeal. I'll do what I got to keep on throwing paper at this fucking thing. What do I care? If I got to go to do an answer, then I'm going to do an answer and a counterclaim and third party. I'll bring a whole bunch of people in and turn them to the Polymop show. You know, people.
Are you in discovery right now? I mean, your motion to
not in
dismiss
discovery yet because we haven't done the motion to dismiss yet. But
Right.
if they tell me that I got to
You
do an
haven't even
answer,
done. Wait a minute. You haven't even done a motion to dismiss.
yeah, I filed the motion. To
I thought
dismiss
you
it.
did. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It's pending, but all that stuff's pending. It's sitting there, and so they'll get to it when they get to it. Between now and then, I'll have as much fun as I can. And if they tell me I got to do a answer, then I got to do an answer. You know, and if I do an answer, then I can do a counterclaim. And a counterclaim in federal court means I can bring other parties in too. So I'm going to sue a whole bunch of people. That's what's going to be fun for me. I'm going to have my own lawsuit against like 20 people. I don't give two fucks. If Jeremy Hales farted on you ever, then you're going to be in the lawsuit. So, that'll be nice. That's at least the plan. I may do it that way, or I may do it, very laser focused. Maybe we'll see. I put maximum pain on a couple of people. We could do it that way too. We'll see.
How long ago was it that you filed your motion to dismiss? Because it was part of something else that you did, right?
I did an original motion to dismiss.
Right.
And he filed the amended complaint. Remember, he filed the amended complaint afterwards with me and Michelle, and I had to answer that with a motion to dismiss.
Okay.
And then I also filed the motion for a show cause order, for them to about the video, that the video was full of lies. The characterization of the video is untruthful. I filed a bunch of different applications. So I'm just gonna, I want to see what happens.
I knew there was a motion to dismiss, but when you said the amendment, I thought, well, maybe it was from before. But obviously, you just said
we'll see what happens with this thing. It's like, who knows? It's a joke, though. Really, it's the fact that this stuff has any traction whatsoever. That's the crazy part about this.
I'll tell you, after all this stuff with all these cases and everything, it's like, oh my God, your brain just wants to explode. I don't know how you handle it. You're so quick, man.
Think about it this way. I understand it because I have this very, very specific media message on this case.
Mm.
You have a federal court, right?
Yeah.
Think about all the time and money that the federal courts are spending on this case, the Jeremy Hales case, that they spent already with you and everybody else in it.
Yeah.
And then think about now that I'm in it and I'm putting in paperwork for everything because it's my right to do so, and I'm availing myself of my full rights. When all they had to do was call a conference, call Luthmann and call Hales in, or Hales and his lawyer, or call Shockett in and do a Zoom call, or bring us all into the court. Right. And then the judge or the magistrate has to say, what's this whole case about? And they'll say it's a video, and say, okay, play the video. The case would have been over in 20 minutes, right?
Right.
The judge would look at Shockett and say, are you fucking serious, Mr. Shockett? This is what we're here for? That's the point. It's like, it's stupid that, and you would expect that's the reason why the federal judiciary is losing so much credibility. And the government as a whole is losing credibility because there's no common sense. You need to bring common sense back in the government. Nothing's better than a common sense judge that could take the case and bring it in and say, okay, what's going on here? Like in the very beginning of Fed 2, you see a party represented by a lawyer, and you have the vast majority that are all pro se. And you're in federal court. You made a federal case out of this against all these pro se people. Now, if you're pro se in federal court, it means that you probably can't hire a lawyer. So if you're suing somebody that doesn't hire a lawyer, what are you suing about? It's not about justice, and it's definitely not about money. So there has to be an ulterior motive. There are only two real things that you sue for: justice or money. And when it's
Lisa, did you hear that?
We can hear you, Rob.
No, I didn't hear. You were gone. Sorry, Rich. You were gone, and then you came back, and I went to add you, but it kept saying your device is not connected, and then you popped up again.
We just had a huge lightning strike here. I was like, whoa, that's awesome. Yeah.
No, I didn't hear anything. Nothing. Not yet. Is it headed my way? I don't know.
I don't know. We just got a little rain.
Yeah, I don't know if it's raining.
Good night, Ray.
Can you hear Rich?
Rich, say something.
Hello. Testing.
Okay, I hear him.
Okay, making sure.
All right, go ahead. Carry on.
No, but that's the point here. If you had a common sense judges in these cases, and some of them have been, like in that Owen case.
Yeah,
that case got done quick. So this is all bullshit. They saw it right away. They got rid of the case, and when he growled, and the case went away still. So,
he's doing a lot of growling lately.
Well, that's the point. At a certain point, they got to realize what the fuck is going on. Like, what is this for real? Really, is this a money case, or is this a justice case? Right? Is this a money case? Is somebody lost money, is owed money, that type of thing, or is this case about justice that people are looking for real justice? These cases are about neither. Nothing that this man files is about money or justice, and that's the clearest, barometer of the whole thing. If it's not
Well,
about
you're
money,
wrong, Richard. You're
not about
wrong.
justice,
It is
it's
about
about
money.
something else. No, but it's not about money or justice from the court. The court can
That's
dispense
true.
money, or the court can dispense justice as a remedy, or a combination therein. What
You're
remedy is he looking the court to dispense? It's not. He's not looking for the dispense money, because the money he asked for is outlandish and retarded. It's not
right.
about, these cases aren't about justice. It's not about
It's
fundamental
about
dignity or
bankrupting
civil
people.
rights.
He said
So
it.
it's about something else. It's about Palomop. That's what it's about. It's about money.
Yeah, it's about
Palomop.
him
So
making
when the
money off of ruining other people's lives.
So when the court's sitting in common sense, say very early on, come in, let's talk about this case. What's this case about? And you apply that test. Is this case about money, or is this case about justice? Is this like Microsoft fighting Apple, where big people are fighting, or is this case about a civil rights case where somebody's coming in, one person against the machine? But when it's neither one of those cases, then it is what it is.
It's about content.
Well, and the court should not, enable that. I understand if you have a
Yeah, they should not. They should not feed in to someone's content that is just like a reality TV show that is 100% fake.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Life is not the Kardashians. That is not real life.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's what this has become.
Oh, I'm so sick of it. Sick of them too.
I mean, when I hear these other channels saying this is national news, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. What are you kidding yourself?
What nation is he living in?
Yeah.
Please.
It's definitely not one nation under God.
We could make it national news if we really wanted to.
I don't think you could. It's not big enough. It's not big enough, Lisa.
I could.
It's not big enough to even for you to make it national news. It's not big enough.
Dude, I'm really good at my job. Thank you.
But trust me, it's not big enough. TMZ would laugh.
I'm not talking TMZ. I'll get it other places first, and then TMZ will be like, "What the hell?" Literally.
I don't think it would become national news. I don't think there's enough meat on the bone there for national news.
No, in the end result, when you're going to go after Rumble and YouTube, that's when it's going to become national news.
You know what Eugene Volokh said about this case, Fed 2, early on, whenever he was still in it? He wasn't interested in the case at all. He's a top, professor.
Who? I'm sorry?
Eugene Volokh at UCLA. And he writes about this. He's a lawyer. He was a clerk to Justice O'Connor on the Supreme Court years ago. He was a professor for many years, and he does a blog, Volokh's blog. Mm-hmm. And only part that he's interested in is really the part about the revenge porn statute, only because to see what happens with it.
Because it's a Larry Flynn thing.
Because it's the First Amendment issue, the Larry Flynn issue. This is clearly a Larry Flynn issue, but are we having an encroachment on the First Amendment because of by this law, by courts, or by that's the only really interesting issue in the case. Right. And I don't even think it's that interesting. I think that the video is pretty clearly satire, and I think that by me putting it to Germ and to Shock it, show me the frames that you claim to be pornography. Show me the frames that you claim to be Jeremy Hales having sex with a journalist. Show me what you have, and they don't have any of that. And it's a joke. It really is. And at the end of the day, what are they going to do if they win? Let's say they win, right? Let's say they're right about everything. What are they going to get in damages for that? $10? It's like there's no damages on the case either. People have to understand, if you're doing all this work and at the end of the rainbow there's nothing to recover, what are you going to do? First he's going to get a judgment, and then he's going to have to try to collect from me. He's going to get a shitty judgment, and then he's never going to collect that judgment from me. So that's how his what the fuck?
I think that the only way
what are we doing here? That's all the judge has to say. What are we doing here?
I think that the only way it's going to become national news is when, in the end of most of this, that
If YouTube gets sued,
when Rumble and YouTube become a part of it and are being held responsible
right?
for allowing all of this harassment to go on.
That's when it'll become national news.
That's what I'm talking about, and that's when it will be. My copyright infringement, they don't care, but
They don't give a shit.
When it comes to Rumble and YouTube being held responsible, all of this is going to play into it.
Here's the thing: when your copyright goes, yeah, good, you'll win the copyright. YouTube's going to say, "Oh, okay, she won. We're gonna award her. She was in the right."
Yeah.
But till they're brought into the whole Jeremy Hales bullshit of him attacking people and suing people, that's when it'll become national news.
Yep. And the criminal charges, like all of it, all at the same time.
Right. That's when it will.
Yeah.
Till then, nobody's going to touch it.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
And everybody looks at it as a joke.
And guys, there is a criminal investigation going on. Just so y'all know.
Yeah, there is.
The FBI is involved.
No. Seriously, Rich, there really is a criminal investigation going on. It's not even just like, something being said like they want to think they're laughing about it, but there is. There is.
Well, with all the new laws coming out, especially since you got people, like the guy from, what was it, auction? Committing suicide.
Yeah. Storage Wars.
Storage Wars.
The guy did it with Renee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since that happened, you're gonna have stuff come down the pipeline because of this.
Yeah.
And it's a matter of, this is since Daryl Sheets. Yeah. That's what's going to cause the whole thing. It's
Connie's 100% right there. He's affected a lot of people.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And there's quite a few people who could have been in Daryl Sheets's.
Exactly, Todd. Female body investigators.
And the thing is, you don't know who is dealing with depression or anxiety or PTSD. And, and if they are, making fun of it isn't a joke.
That's a problem with this country. Everything's become a joke now.
Yeah.
And it all stems down to all the BS that goes on in the world. My son's a cat. I have to have a cat box, a litter box in his classroom for him. Shut the fuck up.
And they allowed.
Yeah, that's the joke. And that's what made a joke out of this whole fucking country.
Yeah. That's crazy. That is definitely crazy. Well, guys, it's 1:00. We've been on for almost 4 hours. It's 3 hours. Dang. Guys, thank you all for supporting. Rich, thanks for coming on tonight and explaining everything and sharing your art.
Rich, listen, seriously, I love when you come on because we get a lawyer, a former lawyer in here who actually understands the law.
Legal journalist.
There you go.
Legal journalist.
Legal journalist. Thank you. That understands the law and can point out everything, which we're not, assuming, shall we say.
Yeah.
Different things like other channels do.
Right.
Yeah.
And twisting things.
Yeah, we have experienced people who come on and explain and educate us on the law.
And the other point is that I've raised issues that this audience sees that there are issues here, and you notice that nobody else in the Halesverse and the ecosystem is going to talk about that. You didn't hear
Right.
anything about the paperwork that Shockett put in for Hales, saying how great I am and that Hinkle was wrong, but they put it in anyway.
You know what's funny about that, Richard? Is Jeremy Hales agrees that you are a genius. Otherwise, he would have fired his attorney.
Right.
Yeah, well, if he's going around saying paint chips, and I'm like somebody that's eating lead paint chips, and I have mental damage because of my paint chips, and his lawyer comes around and says this guy's not paint chips. And the fly on the wall. Oh my God, it's like the fly on the wall is the biggest thing. They were berating the whole thing when I filed the papers and put the fly on the wall transcript on there. If every fucking one of them. Megan and Tug and Shizzy and Coop and the whole bunch of them were saying, "Oh my God, can you believe this? Can you believe this? Can you believe this?" And then Shaka turns around and he agrees that, okay, yeah, that did happen, but what are you doing?
Proof of it.
Richard.
Yeah.
Can you do a full camera of yourself right now?
What do you mean? I'm here.
Okay. I need a full camera though. I need Lisa. Can you put him front and center?
Okay. Hold on. Actually, let me move him over because I can't click on the. There we go.
Okay. Richard.
Yeah.
Can you take a knee? I have my lightsaber here, and I would love to anoint you as Sir Richard.
There we go.
I announce thee as Sir Richard. Now and forth, go, Richard.
I like it. Well, I'll show you if you want. I can try to find the picture from the New York Post. Actually, let me see if I can find.
I have my lightsaber right here, and it is on, and I am anointing you, Sir Richard.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So Richard, what? So Richard, what of what?
Sir Richard of Kill the Germ.
It's a good one. I don't know if anybody saw this. I'll put. We'll do this on the way out. I'll show everybody what this is. But this is what happened in the New York Post. I'll put this one up actually.
I actually can't remove you. Hold on.
This is Sir Richard of the Vaccine of the Germ.
Okay.
That's so weird. It won't let me. Hold on. Where is it?
Well, now I'm the whole screen. I love it. I'm here. I got the whole screen now. I hijacked the show. This is great.
You are now anointed as Sir Richard, the vaccine of the germ.
There we go. Alligator lover. There we go. Perfect. Wow.
Oh my God.
Put this up real quickly. So this is the story from 2015 from the New York Post. This is the New York Post.
Look at that smile.
You see the New York Post?
Okay. Yeah.
This is city lawyer demands to settle Game of Thrones style. That's me. 2015. And I went to the court and I tried to say, you know what, you want to do this? We'll do it Game of Thrones style. And they put it in the Post, the New York Post. I was on the front page of the New York Post, and they did all this stuff in the New York Post. Let's see, where is it? There's me. There's another one of me right here. Look at that. You like that?
No, that is great.
Yeah. So.
Sir Richard, champion of court duels.
That's what he said. This is a good one.
King of Lysol.
Pretty good one, right?
So serious.
Oh God.
Well, dueling is a serious thing, right? That's what they do. And it was the cover of the New York Post. It was a pretty funny thing that had happened. But it was one of these crazy cases too, where they didn't have any case. They just they're throwing shit. And so, all right, fine. You want to go absurdity? And do absurdity right back. That's what we got here. This is an absurd case. It's not about justice, and it's not about money. It's about something else for inside the court, So it's about Palomop outside the court. And so for a judge, the judge should be sitting there in the very first instance, Bolito or whoever, and say,
Richard Luthmann, I expect you to change your name to Sir Richard Luthmann.
Okay, I'll do it, Sir Richard. That sounds good. I'll be Sir Richard. I thought I was King Richard, but I'll go with Sir. I'll take that for now.
You shall go forth known as Sir Richard Luthmann.
There we go. Yeah, can I do that? Hold on, let me see what I can do here.
Hold on, I got it.
That's it. Sir Richard Luthmann. I like it. That's a good name.
It is. It's very fitting.
I need to go. I need to go, Sir. Here's how we're going to do it. We'll do it this way, because this is the way they did it in Game of Thrones. Sir Richard Luthmann, S-E-R.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, it's S-E-R.
I'm Sir Richard.
There you go. S-I-R.
Yeah. So we'll do it that way. That's actually a good one. I like that one a lot.
What's Robbie's name gonna be?
It's just me. I'm nobody.
No, he's the Dragon Rider.
I am just Robbie.
Yeah. I like it, Sir Richard. I like it. That'll work.
It's fitting.
Well, and it's good because he won't do the trial by combat. Like that was his out. You know that, right? He could have put down, and he could have made a promotion out of the fucking thing.
Little bit, hi, sweetheart.
If he's doing it to make money, we could all go down to Newport Richie and have a fucking weekend out of it, and fucking pick the field someplace and done a goddamn trial by combat. I mean, we could have done something. He could have sold shirts and shit like that. He could have done his old bullshit.
Yeah.
Good night, a little bit.
Yeah, we could have done a pay-per-view.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, we could have put the Hales on one side, the anti-Hales on the other. We could have made it into an event.
You know what? We could have made it an event and give all the proceeds to the homeless.
Yeah, Gabe wanted to do a boxing challenge.
He would want to rob. Come on, that's how he would do it. But it is what it is. So, but that's his out. We gave him an out, but he didn't want the out. He just wants to do this. I don't know.
Oh, wait a minute. It is Sir Richard Luthmann, Esquire.
No, it's not Esquire.
I don't want to be an Esquire.
Not anymore. It's not. Yeah, that's true. We can't do that, Big Ray. That's not anymore. We're not going to pretend here. They can pretend on that other page, but that's it.
Sir Gator Trapper.
I'm just Sir Robbie.
No, the Dragon Rider. I like that.
If you want to go Sir, it's Sir Robbie. That's it. Otherwise, it's just Robbie.
It's the Dragon Rider.
It's just me.
Alrighty, guys. It's now 1:08. We are going to head out of here. Robbie goes live tomorrow at 5:30. Rich, you want to put your link in?
Yeah, my link is at Luthmann News. Luthmann News. That's my channel. And then the other thing you want to go to is Luthmann.substack.com. That's basically where you're going to see all my stuff. And then a lot of the Jeremy Hales stuff, if you wanted to tool around, if it's not on Substack, you can get a lot of it on there. But flgolfnews.com, all that stuff is on there too. So,
you guys, and seriously, check out his other stuff because he is a serious attorney on his other stuff. And
journalist, not an attorney, I'm a journalist.
Well, journalist, and he gets serious on stuff. It's not a joke. It's not a joke on other things. And he is very professional and just someone that is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he's got, I'm looking at my email right now, and what battlefield lessons to American factories.
He's
And then-
incredible. The other stuff he talks about is incredible. It's seriously, if you watch it, it makes my brain hurt.
I have several verticals that I do. One is I do stuff about America and political economy and things like that. So that's the stuff like Peter Navarro, who's the Trump's trade guy, and some other people. I'll talk about that type of stuff. Some foreign policy, some economic policy, that type of stuff. I'll also talk about family court. I do a lot of family court stuff. That's what me and Mike Volpe do mainly. We do family court stuff together.
You have another one here for bias and forensic mental health.
Yep, bias and forensic mental health. That's related to family court, because that happens all the time. Where they come in and they try to, put court-appointed people in, and they try to say it's tag people as this or that or the other thing, and it hurts people in child custody cases. So we talk about that a lot. We talk about the biases in the law. I do that. Then I have a couple of things that I do. I have New York NY News Press, which I cover New York stuff. So politics and inside stuff, information that I get. Also FL Gulf News, which is Florida Gulf stuff. So mainly any Florida stuff I'll put in there, but just it's not going to be like it's just the stories that I like, the stuff that's the stuff, the undercovered stories, the battles that I'm in, or the things that really should be happening in Florida that aren't. I do all that stuff. And then I do the podcast with Volpe. I'm doing my own lives. I'm trying to do them once a week. So. It's what it is.
Now, do you have a set time and day that you're doing yours? Because I've seen you pop up at different times, or maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm popping up because I haven't picked a time slot yet. So eventually when I get the format down better, I'm going to do a time slot. Figure out probably a time, but I don't know. It's like because my days are so. I need to have them open for a lot of reasons because I do investigative journalism pieces, right? So a lot of times I'm doing stuff, and some days like everything has to hit the fan and I have to just do something, and that's what it is. I have to be focused on something, but we'll see. We'll see. I'll figure it out. I figure out what we want to do, but that's the key.
Cool.
But I do a lot of corruption.
You guys, seriously though, go subscribe to his channels because they are very interesting. And when he's not dealing with the germ stuff, it is actual sincerity coming from him and true law stuff. And it's not a 3-ring circus.
Right.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I restack a lot of stuff too on Substack. So I take articles that are interesting articles that are worth your time to either read or peruse. So you don't have to go and look. I just restack something about what's his name, Hegseth, the Secretary of War.
Bonnie, love you.
They're putting in a drone czar. Why that's important. I'll talk about other things that are important, cultural stuff. Yeah, it's just but I have my own perspective on things. People agree with me, people disagree with me. So it is what it is. If you want to get into an argument with me, that's fine. Let's argue. It is what it is.
Oh, he loves that.
All right, guys, definitely go check out Richard's channel and his articles and his Substack. Rich, thank you so much for being on here tonight.
No problem.
Richard, listen, it's I love having you on here because I get the perspective of reality and the joke of it.
That's true.
And by the way, I got this cut on my nose. I didn't tell everybody what's happened. I've been training jujitsu for the past month.
I know you have.
I started doing jujitsu. So I'm ready. I'm going to be ready for the germ if he wants to do the trial by combat. I'll be ready.
You know why? You know why he's doing jujitsu is because I told him I was doing jujitsu before, and his son was doing jujitsu, and I said, "Why aren't you doing it?"
Yeah, there you go. So
and he started doing it.
It translates to what I used to do in New York. I used to be a martial artist in New York. It was called jujitsu. So translating, very well my skill set. So it was actually, pretty good. So I'm actually having a good time with it.
That
But
was Sujitsu.
no, jujitsu, jujitsu. So that was but
Sujutsu.
it's something like that. But but I'm having a good time with it, and he's gonna have a really hard time with things. It was like because this jujitsu is the real deal.
Oh God,
And I was a wrestler in New York. I was second in the state when I was in high school, and I know how to wrestle, but I go in there.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated high school in 1997.
You're way too young. Fuck.
Yeah. So the issue becomes, when you look at this and back like in the mid 90s, that was when like the UFC started. I think it was like UFC 3 or UFC 4. It was Royce Gracie and it was Dan the Beast Severn. If you remember that match, that's the classic old UFC match back in the day.
And who did you have also in there? He was the what was
Tank Abbott? You had
Tank Abbott. No, you had
Shamrock and Shamrock.
Shamrock.
You had them all, but Gracie beat Shamrock, right?
Yeah.
But Gracie beat everybody. But Gracie beat Severn.
The world's most dangerous man was Shamrock.
Yeah, but Severn, Gracie beat Shamrock, but Severn went in and Helio Gracie, who's dead now, but he was like the guy in the corner, man. He's like one of the most important people.
Julio was incredible
in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Brazil, yeah.
And he saw Severn, who came in as this wrestler and everything else, and Gracie was able to beat him. Do
you know where Jiu-Jitsu came from?
It was Japan. They went over to Japan and learned the martial art, brought it back to Brazil. Yeah.
Well, they took judo and also involved it in wrestling, and that's where you get jiu-jitsu. And Gracie's were the ultimate of that. Royce was the starter of that.
Yeah,
and that's a big thing.
That fight that they had, like UFC 3, UFC 4 in the mid 90s, was like the amazing, like the watershed fight, because Severn was the beast. They called him the beast, and he was like slamming people around. And he gets in with this Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy half his size.
Yeah.
He knows how to use his weight, knows how to use his leverage, and know how to use technique. And he beat him. He actually choked him out.
Destroyed, not beat him, destroyed him. He tapped him out.
It was a 15-minute fight. He wore him down for 15 minutes, and then
but he tapped out.
He got him to tap in a triangle choke.
Yeah.
So it goes to show you, it is what it is. So that's why I'm training that, because I can go in there rough and tumble if I need to. And
so have you learned the ladder and all that yet?
Well, what I'm working on with my teacher is mostly being comfortable on my back. And I'm starting to get there, because when you're a wrestler, you're not comfortable on your back ever. But when on your back, you don't realize that it's an offensive position, because you use both feet and both hands.
It's the most offensive position you can be in.
Yeah, well, not the most. When you're on the side guard, that's really good too.
Yeah, side guard's good. But
side guard's good because being a wrestler, that's a very comfortable place for me. But also, when you have to realize when you're on top. When I was on top, it took me a week or two to realize on top you need to clear the guard, or else you're going to be screwed, because you want and I was just trying to grab the guy and choke him. That's what I was just trying to do. I was trying to grab and choke and bear hug and everything else. And so
you're better off doing that on the bottom.
Well, on the bottom, or you got to pass the guard. So I'm learning now spacing and everything else. So it took me a little bit. It's taken me a few weeks, almost a month but now I'm starting to understand the important spacing in jiu-jitsu, the difference between that and wrestling, the difference between that and other sports, and what the philosophy.
You're gonna learn ladder and a ladder crawl, and trust me, that's one of the best moves there is, because you can ladder anybody. And it's just an amazing move, and you can go into a leg bar and arm bar, and it's just, you can do all that from the bottom.
Yeah, a lot that can be done. A lot can be done, but it's so involved, and so you have to learn. So
It's just amazing.
So we'll see. We'll see what he does. You know, I gave him the option. You know, he can any day he wants to call up. Germ wants to send Randy the Pocket Rocket to call up. We'll settle with trial by combat. We'll do alternative dispute resolution. We'll have him honor his words.
It'll never happen, brother. It'll never happen.
He's afraid. He's afraid of me. I know.
Oh
he fears
God,
me.
yeah. Oh God, yeah. He fears his own shadow, bro.
Yeah.
Trust me. Yeah. That's somebody that's got big words, but is too scared.
He thinks he's got a big chest. That's all he does is post his chest.
Dude, big chest is easy to fucking break.
Yeah.
We'll see.
That sternum is still weak.
Right? Oops.
And that's the whole thing of it.
Well,
dude, I would love dude, yeah, I'm not going to say anymore because I would just
what?
I would have so much fun. And I'm an old man.
This girl, he needs to go to sleep.
Good night, everybody. I love you all. God bless. Prayers. Sir Richard Luthmann, you have a wonderful night.
Rich,
Lisa,
thank you so much.
I love you.
Thank you, Lisa.
And to all the viewers out here, I love you guys so much. Thank you for the love and support. You guys are absolutely amazing.
Going so we can file this. Let's get Kofi going.
Let's get that Kofi going. Let's file this shit. Let's make them put the money where the mouth is.
Absolutely. Let's shut them up.
You know, Lisa's only got to get this lawyer for the one case with two of them, and then it's just gonna steamroll. Holy Chess, love you, honey. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing. It's a open and shut case, and you know she's been told that from many attorneys. You know, my attorney has told her that, and she just has to get a good entertainment attorney, and she's got that.
Yeah,
she's got that. And Rips checked out her attorney, and Rips was like, "She's awesome. She's awesome." And for you to get a retainer of 5,000, that's sick. Yeah. That's sick. That is sick.
Well, what was funny was, you know, all right, we'll do this, do that. I'm like, no, I already did that. Like, really? Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah. So, all right, we're ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, you've already done so much of the work.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a quick thing.
Yeah.
And then it will just grow from there.
Yeah.
So
all right,
you guys are all amazing. I love you all. God bless. Prayers.
Robbie will be live tomorrow at 5:30. Get swamped. I'll be back on Thursday night at 10 p.m. And we'll see you there. Thank you, guys. We'll see you there.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye. 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 Ta-ta for now.